is. Boom. There he is. Welcome, Hajways. Please unmute yourself now. I know you've been like, Goga, I'm waiting. Let us do this.
Yeah, thank you. I've been waiting. As you said, I kept time. I was here caught
You really kept time. Because
I kept time.
Hajways told me that you told me you needed to have dinner, and then I really love that. Have you had dinner?
We normally have. Oh, today we did the British style. It's a Saturday and it's very hot today, so we decided not to cook. We just went for a takeaway. So not the healthiest choices. But you know when you have kids, at times you really have to give them a treat. You have to give them a treat. So yeah, they are happy and they know that Daddy is busy now. They're ready to collaborate as well. So that's good. Yeah,
I love that. You see,
that day that we waited for ages is here.
I am so happy. It's happening. Just confirm that you can hear me clearly and the music is not interfering. Just for us to make sure.
The background music is beautiful. I can hear you well. So awesome. I think we're okay. We can go ahead with this.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Service Out Kitchen, nice to see you. Sally Kenya, nice to see you. Guys, do you have the codes? Do you have the codes there? Do you have the codes? If you don't have the codes, what are you waiting for? If you're cool, welcome. Germany is in the house. You have all these amazing people who are watching us all the way across the world.
Today.
And everybody, and you've been here, you've been on the chat before. You do know the tribe normally comes in at minute number 15. That's when they're going to like walk in.
So I think more come here. Evangelist is there, and Chile as well.
Angeli,
hey guys, I'm not. Those who know me, I'm not used to doing lives, so I would say
why you already giving excuses there? Like
no, I'm not giving excuses. It's like I can see these comments on the side. I'm always the one who's typing on the other side. Yeah, I'll try to keep up with the pace.
That's a good one. I love that.
Yeah.
So guys, you can do you need me to get somebody to help you there with the chats on your side? You can ask Njeri or somebody to come and
yes, please, that would be wonderful. But anyways, just before that, I would like to thank everybody who was stopped by today. Goga, I would like to thank you for this opportunity that you've given me. It's humbling.
You're welcome.
We can only make this bigger if we sincerely collaborate with other content creators, and it will make sense. And that's my vision, and it has been always for those people who know me and have been actively communicating with me. They can tell you, they can testify that it is my motto in this YT streets, helping each other and collaborating.
I like that, and thank you so much for also, creating time out of your busy schedule. You are a very busy man. It's actually I've been meaning to like talk to you for the last 2 months, and your work schedule has been crazy. Then the one day that you were supposed to come here, you got sick, and you're in Madrid, and it was it was a lot. But thank you so much for being here.
No, it's fine. For these things, we should always try to make some time. If it's not one day, it's gonna be the other. It's true that I'm a busy man, but I'm alive to the fact that everybody else out there is busy. I've got busy weeks and the weekends also, so it's all covered.
No worries. Yeah. Thank you so much. Before we start, I just want to I've seen somebody on the chat that I want to give a very special recognition. Kurian Chacha, welcome. Kurian Chacha unfortunately lost the mom a couple of weeks ago, so I just felt I should use this moment in solidarity with Kurian Chacha. And guys, if you don't have Kurian Chacha, please connect. Kurian Chacha is down there on the chat. He's a very young man. He does an amazing job. I like his demeanor. I like how he presents himself on live stream. So we commiserate with the family of Korean Chacha for the loss of your mom. I'm going to take a special moment just to observe a minute silence in honor of your mom, and then we can carry on with the conversation. It was brought to my attention, and I thought I should actually just do that. So Korean, it's really nice to see you back on the Whitey streets. Let me see. Yeah, so then we can start our conversation. So Korean, is that I hope, sorry, I'm laughing because you already been asked questions, Hajways. I hope you're keeping tabs on the chat. Pay attention to the question by Ifeanyi or Forokolo, because that is your first question. I'm just going to flag it. So that we can do that. So my condolences, to Korean. So let me see whether I can just do that real quick, and then we can start. All right. So this, we just observe a minute silence in honor of Korean's mom, and then we can start the conversation. Right. So let me just do that right now. I'll mute the music temporarily, and then we can do that. I'll put up a video, and then. So guys, this is just for, let's just observe a minute silence. We are a community, and when one of us, faces that difficult moment, we are together with them. So we'll just observe a minute silence for that purpose, even on the chat. All right. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for everybody on the chat for that moment. And guys, if you don't have Korean, please just connect to Korean and send your love, send your hearts. He's been out of the Whitey streets for a while, but you can use this moment just to welcome him. Just to give him that support. Just give Korean Chacha the support. If you don't have Korean Chacha, that is his name. It's up there. Korean Chacha Kenya. You can go there and just send your support and just say you commiserate, with him during this difficult time. So thank you so much, and thank you so much, guys, for also observing that respect on the chat. I really appreciate that. So with me here today, guys, is none other than Hajways. I almost called him with his real name, but then I realized I don't need to, because in these YouTube streets, you need to recognize the brand that is a person. So I just said we are going to call him Hajways for purposes of this conversation. If you need to know his name, you can ask him privately. Then he'll be able to at least tell you and everything. So Hajways is my brother. First of all, he's Kenyan. He's going to talk about it. He's Kenyan, and he's my brother who is based outside Kenya. He left Kenya. He's going to tell us, when that was. I met Hajways courtesy of was it Imelda? I was going to say Imelda. And then when Imelda is one of my channel members, and also our beautiful mom all the way from Germany. And I remember the first video I went to watch, he was interviewing somebody that we know, and I was so happy about. I think it was over 40 minutes of a video interview they were doing in the street. I watched that entire video, and I was like, the things he was talking about, and how they were trying to compare, compare experiences of living abroad, and they remember back home, the story of living in the village. Oh, that video moved me, and I was like, okay, I like this guy. I'm going to connect his channel. And we watched him. By then, I think he was. By then, Hajways, I think you had less than 700, if I remember very well. You are really trying to push.
Probably about 600 or something like that.
Yeah, it was about 600 or something. Yeah, so he had not been monetized, and I think, and after I knew him, this one person I've watched. he pushed aggressively. He did those crazy live streams. He networks like a lot. This Hajways is always supporting people, yet he's working. At some point, he's dealing with the family, he's traveling, and he still gets time to support people until he got to his milestone. And congratulations again on that monetization, milestone. It wasn't easy. You really worked so hard for it, and it was well deserved. So since that I said I need to have you on the panel, because I think sometimes it's important for us to showcase. You are used to showing us stories. You're used to showing us your experiences. You're used to talking to people about their stories. And I was like, what is your story? I was very interested, because you come from a very beautiful part of the country, here in Kenya. And you are living very far away from home, and it's been a lot of years, because based on that interview I was able to pick up those details. That's why I said it's important to have Hajways just to come and give us the other side, because people sometimes leave home, they go living abroad, they have adventures, they build, because he has a family that lives with him there. He has raised his family, he works abroad. What are some of the intrigues of living abroad, especially in the United Kingdom and even beyond, and especially not just for a Kenyan man but also a black man, and that's I really respect. And Hajways, the reason you're also here is because of Ifeanyi. He told me, Goga, where is the boy child? Why is the boy child never featured on your interview on the Sunday service? Why is the boy child never co-hosting the Sunday service? If Ifeanyi made me guilty, I had to go and ask my manager, hey, we need to get the boy child more the Sunday service. And so you're among the very few men who get to co-host the Sunday service. So I'm so honored that you heeded the call.
Oh, thank you.
And you made here. So without further ado, this is your show. Please introduce yourself to the community the best way you know how, and then you can keep chatting.
Okay. Well, most of the people here, I think they know me, but there might be some few new people who have showed up today. First of all, give everyone a warm welcome, and thank you wholeheartedly for showing up today on this Sunday service. So, like I say in my videos, I go by the name of Hajways. So my name is Hajways, and I'm Kenyan. I was born, like Goga said, in a very beautiful part of the country in the south, and then at some point I moved to the capital city, and then things happened, and I found myself in Spain, and now I find myself in UK. But we will go through everything so that you get to know my story better. So Goga approached me and said, Haj, I want you to be the co-host. And we tried, was it the previous week, but it didn't work. And as I went to Spain, I fell ill, and then I came back, and it was not possible. So I wanted to be in my best condition, really. So the day is today, and he asked me to come and speak about my story, not just generically, but speak about my story in depth, starting from. So I said, okay, fine, I'll just give a good story from my childhood all the way up to now. So so I was born in a place called Taita in Kenya, in a small village. I went in my childhood, my school, primary school, and everything. I went to school in village, even the high school, a different part of the village, which was in the hills. It was very cold there, very, very cold, especially in the months of July. It used to be very cold, and when I tell people that it can be cold in Kenya, they wouldn't believe the parts that actually it can get really cold. I remember at times, we didn't have we had water, running water, but there was no hot water in the school. But then we had to take our showers in the morning. Oof. And at times you had to wake up at 5 o'clock because there was a queue. Because by 7 you had to be ready to go to the dining hall, have your breakfast, and then go to class. And when you opened the tap sometime in July, I'm telling you, that was not the best experience. It was freezing. But down in the plains where I was born, it was always like a warm place. Beautiful place, lovely people, and I would dare say, like the way in Kenya, I believe that's that story repeats itself across Africa. A child does not belong to one family. A child is raised by the whole community. So I would say that I was raised not just by my family, but by the whole community, and I was raised to be able to be the person that I am today, in terms of behavior and all this. So it was a beautiful experience in my childhood. I played a lot, not like nowadays that kids have to play with the gadgets. We used to play outside. All the kids, we used to meet in like a central area in the village, just next to my house actually. We could play there the whole day, and we just go back home for when you're hungry, or when it gets dark and people are going to come back home. We had a lot of fun. My family was very religious as well, and is still very, very religious. And the schools where I went, fortunately, my dad also was a teacher. He passed away, but he was a teacher then. And thank you. And he was at some point the head teacher in the primary schools where we were. So every time he was transferred, we had to go with him, but not in many occasions though. Always around the village, because we had like probably a couple of schools or more. Now, so I went to school, the primary school there in the village, and then I moved to high school, where now it was a boarding school, as I said before, or I didn't mention it was a boarding school. So we only had like, I think every other 3 months or so, we would have what they call half terms. So we would only see our families like a week or a week and a half. And the longest holiday, I think, was in Christmas. We closed schools in November, and then you don't come back until February, and that was like the greatest time of all. But over and above, growing up in the village, we did all sorts of activities. We would participate in the duties at home. Things like farming. Here in Europe, if like my daughters, one of them is 12 and the other one is 14 now. If I took them to the farm to go and farm, some might say that it is what do they call it? Like you're enslaving your kids. Yeah, child labor. But these things back in the village, they taught us how to grow up to become what we are today, to be able to appreciate everything. Because back then you'd look at it and you're like, every kid would be like, oh, it's too much work, they're disturbing me, why can I have time to go? But now you look at all those experiences and you're like, actually, they've made me a good person. I can think correctly, I can, many other things.
I love that.
There was a point, for example, we didn't have like tap water at home, and we used to go to the rivers to go and fetch water after school. And I remember there were baboons and everything. It's a lovely village, and they would be chasing people, kids and ladies all over the place, Then when I finished high school, for example, the normal thing for those who are able is to relocate maybe to a bigger city, isn't it? So for me, at that point, it was not possible. The option was still there, which I pursued afterwards. But at the beginning, because I had these experiences of farming and all that, I went and opened like a small farm with my dad. And in less than 6-7 months, I was actually selling vegetables in the village, produce from my farm. And if I had not gotten that opportunity to go to the city, you would not have seen me today. Maybe you would have seen me on YouTube, but in a totally different format, like Farmer Isa. Maybe. Nice. Yeah. And Farmer Isa, by the way, is a guy that I admire. I'm connected.
He's amazing.
Connected with him, and he's amazing. Exactly, that's the word. He's amazing. So, guys, if you know Farmer Isa or you're not connected to him, please go and give him some love and tell him you're coming from Hajways. So I finished high school. I did the farming there, and then at some point, my dad was like, I think you need to do something else, blah, blah. So why don't you go to the city? So I went to my brother in the city, my elder brother who used to live in the city, who for me is one of the reasons as to why, first, I'm also who I am today, but also one of the reasons as to why I'm here today, because he hosted me in his house in the city. And then his friends, one of what were working in a tour farm, I think it was called A&K. If I've not forgotten, it was a big tour farm by then. They had vans transporting tourists all the country. So he was doing he was tour guiding, but as a Spanish tour guide. And then we were having conversations, and I was just sat there, and I was, I told him, what, this is something I've liked to do all my life. So, because where I live in the village is technically like 4 miles away from the biggest national park, the Savo National Park. Yeah, so it's literally 4 miles, and the tourists would pass by my village every day. We had those big farms like A&K. There was another one, I think it was called Pullman Tours, and thousands of cars were just heading to the national park for people who are coming from abroad to go and see what we have in Kenya. So that is something that I kind of liked. So when I saw that guy, I had a chance to talk to him, and he told me, if you do Spanish, I might introduce you to someone, and you might get employment quite easily, because they don't have Spanish tour guides. Don't go doing French or Germany or whatever. Go out to Spanish, and this will be very easy. So I did Spanish for about 6 months or less, and there was a job interview. So I presented myself, all hyped, I speak Spanish. I didn't. But I went. I did the interview. They were impressed, actually, but the only thing they didn't take me for that job, and it happened in 2 occasions, is because I looked too young. Because I was always like a tiny person, like small-bodied and stuff like that. And then I was hardly 20 years old. I was like 18 years old. So this.
Oh wow, you were young.
Yeah, I remember one of the guys we interviewed told me, I would give you the job, but our clients would think that this is a job. We've just given him a kid to go and tour guide them. But we know that if we had you here for the next 6-7 months, you'll be speaking Spanish fluently, because you're capable of it. We can see it. But they didn't give me the job. So this is going fine. So I went back to school, continued. But then guess what? Another opportunity comes. I do the interview. The lad was from Malaga, Spain, and he was married to an Indian lady. They had a farm, tour farm as well, called World Tours, and they hired me. So I started working there, but just before I left the Spanish school, which was at the Nairobi University, inside the Department of Philosophy, I had applied for a scholarship. Because my teacher said, you look like you have a great future, you're young, and these other people are not that young, so it will be a bit difficult for them to relocate. But for you, you are still in that age where you can go and do studies, and you don't have a career as yet, so I think this is your opportunity. So why don't we apply? So I applied with my very broken Spanish. I remember, I think I still have the letter somewhere. I kept it. I applied and then left the school. I got the job. And back then we didn't have mobile phones or nothing. So after 4 months, they were supposed to come back to me after 2 months. They never came back after 2 months. They came back after 4 months. And word came through that they were looking for me, because they couldn't locate me. But they found me somehow, because somebody told them that I was working for this firm. So there we go. So I got a phone call. Well, my manager got a phone call from the Spanish embassy, and she called me and she was like, we've had a phone call. You have to go to the Spanish embassy because you're supposed to travel. Why didn't you tell us anything about it? I was like, no, I forgot about it, because they're supposed to come back to me after 2 months. They never came back to me, so I thought it was gone.
Gone.
So I got the opportunity, and then I started applying for passports. I got the passport, I got a visa, and it was that easy. It happened like in 7 days. I didn't have enough money to pay for my air ticket. I got scholarship. I got a scholarship without an air ticket. So I had to speak to my dad and tell him, Dad, I've got this opportunity, but I don't have an air ticket, so I can't go. He said, what? He said, yeah, okay, I'll try my best. So literally there was no time even to do any business transaction, for example, to sell a piece of land. because the time was not enough. So they did a fundraiser, and then we printed cards in Nairobi with my brother, and we started giving them out, dishing them out, looking for money until we raised about $600. So the idea was, I get enough money to bring me to Spain, but if anything went wrong, I had enough to pay for my air ticket to go back home.
Oh,
so
wow!
I paid for the air ticket, and then I kept the rest with me, and I think that money was with me for approximately 2 years. I had that money just set aside.
Contingency plan.
It was in US dollars. I did not even exchange it to pesetas then. It was not euros. I kept that money. That money on the side.
And it was cash.
Yeah, it was cash. Back then we didn't have cards, and forget about me. What business? I mean, what credit cards? Nothing.
And somebody on the chat is probably wondering, how old were you when all this was happening? Because somebody, the ladies of course are like, how old is Hajways? He's speaking to us like he's and he doesn't look that old, and why is he speaking to us like he's a grandpa?
Just good. It's just good genetics from my dad. But my dad and mom.
Oh, right.
They all even my dad, by the time he passed away, he didn't look his age. My mom does not look her age. She's still around. He doesn't look her age. So if you see my brothers as well, we don't look. I think also it is something from my tribe, from my community. We look younger than normally. But when I went to Spain, I was 19 years old. I was just about to turn. So I turned 20 when I was in school in Madrid. Yeah, back then. So it's been a long time. It's been a long time. I'm not a young. I'm not an old guy. But just thereabout. Like you said, anyone who wants to know, they can ask. But
don't worry. The women on the chat are going to give me. They're going to give me your age shortly. They're doing the calculation. They're like, what did you say? They know. They're doing the calculations. They know you're married. They're going to. You've said something about your 2 daughters. They're like, oh, he's a father. Okay, good. So he left at 19. Okay, so they're doing their calculations. I'm going to get your age shortly. You will be shocked. They'll be very accurate. These guys are like
they're good. They're
like
good
intelligence.
Yeah.
They're good in numbers. They're good in numbers. I like what you said, especially about the power of community and how how you are raised, how being born in Africa, you are back then you are a community property, and anybody had a say in your upbringing, and everybody in the community was it was like a very good community effort to raise a child. The pressure was not just left on your parents. What would you say are some of the ideals that if you are to look back into your childhood, the games and those kind of things, what were some of the key ideals that you picked from that kind of upbringing? And the whole thing about it takes a village, the whole it takes a village is really very emblematic of Africa, and how we are raised technically in the social setup we are raised. So
the many things that the many values that are given unto us when we are growing up in the village. And I said it's everybody across the board in the villages. You talk to everyone. You're taught to respect people, and it's real respect. The way you would not pass by anyone without saying hi. And at times it's not just saying hi, but you have to shake their hands.
Yes.
And you don't call them by name, but you call them grandma, you call them auntie, you call them, even at times, all these little things, they do add up to make us who we are. And when I look at how the values I want to pass on to my kids who are growing up in this in this modern world, where they're taught. Here, the kids are taught when they start going to school. They're taught to call you by your name. So if you had a kid, daddy, Goga, they would say Goga. They would not say daddy.
Yeah.
So it's a different culture. They can, back at home, when you're speaking to an elderly person or anyone who is older than you are not meant to raise your voice.
Yeah.
And probably that's why also
absolutely,
or most of us are very soft spoken, especially when we're speaking to people who are older than us. And all these things, they teach you so many things. They teach you how to listen, so you're not interrupting people all the time when you're talking, and they teach you general behavior that will make you stand out anywhere you go. And believe me, that type of behavior and also beliefs, they do open doors for people at times. When they say manners, it's these things that are noticeable, and they come from those beginnings and where the community has participated. So for me, those are the ideals that I carry with me all through, and I do cherish them with all my heart.
I like how you said you said something very, very nice there about how growing up, I remember I didn't even know my mother's name for the longest time, because it was almost like an abomination calling your parents with their name. We didn't know our parents' names for like a while. It was like you go to school and it's like, who's your mom? Mom. Mom. Who's your dad? It's dad.
And if you're grown up,
it's like,
if it was your grandfathers or grandmas who were bringing you up and you knew them, because at times when you had your dad or your parents are working in the cities, it was very common to leave the kids in the villages with the grandfathers or the grandparents. And
absolutely,
to some extent, in some families I know, those became like their real parents. I know of a case when they cried and they did not say mama, mama. They used to say nyanya, nyanya, which is grandma, because they'd spent most of the childhood with a grandmother. So it's true. We would not call them by names, but we would know them mostly by those, like mom or dad or grandma, auntie, whatever. And it's beautiful. It is beautiful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Alisewa here is shocked how you're able to learn Spanish in 4 months. Alisewa, of course, is our sister as well, and she's based in Madrid at the moment. I know you left Madrid.
I follow her as well. Yeah. So the thing is, what happened is I was told that Spanish was going to be a real opportunity, and I saw it as such. So I was not doing anything else. 24/7, it was just Spanish, and my brothers can attest to it. My brothers are all like accountants and blah, blah. So I remember my immediately elder brother, he was doing accounts as well. So he was going to college and then comes home and he sat there doing his numbers, blah blah. And I got all the grammar books and stuff from my teacher in school, and they were home, and I was busy doing stuff with my dictionary, translating almost the entire day. And then I would go to class for only 1 hour in town, Nairobi University, and come back home. We used to live in Park Road, not very far away from town. So I used to walk all the way past, do I remember now? Ngara, and then the market.
Oh, wow.
The market, cross the river, go up Voi Road, I remember that one. And then go all the way up to, is it Tomboya, and then just turn right and go all the way University Way and just go to school. Nairobi Police Station, the Central Police Station was the opposite. So
Central Police Station, and then you're up and at the university.
Yeah, and I used to go there, Department of Philosophy. So
interesting.
If you feel or you see that something is a real opportunity, that is going to be an opening to whatever objectives you have, then I think you can do it. So what happened is I did that Spanish in 4 months. I started working, so I was working with the Spaniards. So I only worked with them for 4 months, by the way. And then that scholarship came up, and then I left. I went to Spain, and I thought I spoke Spanish. So I went to Spain. I was taken to the hostels, and when I got to the reception, I'm checking in now. So they start talking to me, and I'm like, oh dear, I don't understand anything. Well, it started at the airport. It started at the airport because at that time when I went to Spain, believe me, it was not easy. And when I say it wasn't easy. It was not easy to find someone who spoke English. It wasn't. And there are so many other details that I can give you about my life in Spain. I think at some point I would have to write a book. But there's so many things.
That's a good idea.
And the way I've seen that country change up to what it is now, it is absolutely amazing. But when I got to Spain, you would hardly find someone speaking English. So it started at the airport, and I did not get an interpreter. I got to the hostels. They were checking me in. I didn't have an interpreter. So I just gave them my passports. They had my names, and they showed me the room. And I was taken to the secretary's office, which was in the basement. And they gave me like a test to do. And I went through the test. I did the test, and I did it perfectly. I gave it to her. She said, wow, but how come they're saying that you don't speak Spanish? You understand everything. People come here and they know nothing. And, we really have to struggle to make sure that they understand what we are telling them. I was like, okay, I can write a bit, but I don't understand what you're saying.
because they're speaking and writing.
They took me they showed me where I was supposed to live, to my hostel room. And when I went there was this lovely guy. He's a journalist now. He's from Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
He was going to be my roommate. So I had another African guy, and he spoke some English. So I was like, wow. Well, he spoke English because he was doing languages in the uni and journalism. So he spoke French, he spoke a bit of German, and then he spoke Spanish, and then English. So it was wonderful. That was a relief. And then I met another guy who was from Mozambique who spoke English as well. And we were living, all of us, in the hostel. So we became like a small team, and it was good. But when I started school, I did not understand anything. I used to come out from the lectures with probably 2 or 3 words written, and that was my 1 hour notes from the lecture. But then I used to be the guy on the photocopying all the notes from the other students to go and translate and then read. But that, by and by, in about 3 to 4 months, yes, I did start speaking almost fluent Spanish, and from there it went really well. So it is possible, Alicia. It is possible. Yeah. And I consider myself,
I like that,
almost bilingual in Spanish and English. So yeah.
All right. There's somebody on the community in the chat, Miss Darlene Bustamante, and she's from the Hispanic community. I just want you to just take a moment and welcome everyone once again, and to the Sunday service. And I want you to do it in Spanish. And I also want you to acknowledge the super chat that you just got from Jerry Kimani, who is doing an amazing job welcoming people on my behalf on the other side of your channel. So you have a blessing there to acknowledge. And before you do the blessing, let me just give you my water, because I know you don't have your water. So I'll do for you my water to acknowledge Jerry's blessing as a good So yes,
Jerry Kimani, thank you so much. I know you have been very supportive from the day that we met on these YT YouTube streets. You are always there when a video comes out. I know I've not done enough. I have to make time, and I told you the other day I will make time and do the catch up. Like somebody says, and I've seen them on this chat, they say the catch up gang. But you know that I do appreciate your support. wholeheartedly. And thank you so much for the super chat. Now, in Spanish, if you, for those who are going to understand, muchísimas gracias por venir aquí hoy para que podamos compartir esta tarde juntos. Para los que entienden el español, mi nombre es Hajways, como me conocen aquí en YouTube, y ha sido un placer enorme poder pasar estos tiempos, estos meses que hemos pasado juntos y nos hemos conocido y hemos podido crear una comunidad tan grande. Thank you very much.
Wow. Yeah, guys. So he just confirmed. He just confirmed. He wasn't. Yeah, guys. The man can speak Spanish. Before I go into your experiences abroad, just tell us real quick. You know, you're an African son. I'm just trying to figure out how many siblings do you have in your family?
8. One of us left us, but 8 in total.
Oh my. Oh wow! Where are you in the pecking order? Are you like in
fifth? I'm the fifth.
The fifth right born. Wow.
Yeah. I'm just in the middle.
All right. Okay. Fifth born out of 8. So anyway, so your father, your father has really, run a spirited campaign to get you an air ticket to Spain. He's an African man. They are very attached to their kids. How did they allow you at 18 years old to leave the country? Because you're still their baby. And your mother, for example, I'm just trying to imagine your mother probably the emotional angle. Because dads can be, it's a dad.
Yeah, we can hide it. We have the emotions, we can hide it a bit, but
yeah. How did your parents allow you at 18 to leave the country?
I don't know, but I guess they saw, let's be very truthful. Things are never easy from where we come from.
Absolutely.
And in most cases, for example, my dad worked in the city or in Mombasa. He used to work in the approved school. I don't know if you've heard about them. I don't know if they still exist. Yeah. So he used to work there.
They were renamed or something. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a normal teacher, and then he got a job in the approved school. So he was there, and then at some point he got tired of it, and then he went to the village. But prior to that teaching experience and all that, he used to work. He told me those stories, and probably they were the most difficult ones. He used to work during the colonial era. He used to work in a bakery store, a bakery actually, where they're making bread. And the experiences he told us, they're not nice at all. I don't want to talk about them because the emotions are still very green when I think about the stories he told us. Yeah. So he came back to the village quite early, so he did not. Let's be truthful. The way things work at home is, in most cases, someone, then you can get somewhere. You can get something because someone can tell you, can tell someone that I have this other person that. I don't know if it's the same story now or it has changed, but in my days, that was the story. So I guess on one side, he thought that was going to be a real opportunity for me, but also being a teacher. And when I told him I've gotten this scholarship, and I told him, he asked me, what do you want to do? So I'm going for studies, and I've got this, and I showed him the paperwork. He said, go and get your education, because I know it's going to do you good. Tomorrow I won't be here, but this opportunity that we're giving you is actually going to help you in life. So there was that, though they were very attached to me, but he did bless me to go on. Mom, all the same, she did, but I remember I didn't see the impact on her as much when I was leaving. But I did see it when I came back home after 1 year. Because I did my exams, I finished. I had studied like a madman during 1 year, because when you have a scholarship, what happens is you have a lot of pressure. So you either pass or you're kicked out. So here comes this guy who does not speak Spanish well. He thinks that he does. Go to school, and start studying. You have a scholarship, you have all that pressure here, you don't understand anything. Study during those 9 months, do your exams, pass all of them, you can go to the next year. If you fail, you're going home. So I put so much effort. I remember, I don't know how many hours I used to sleep, very few, during 1 year. And when I finished my exams and I got my grades, and all my teachers told me, congratulations, you've passed your first year. The first thing I did was I booked a flight home. So that was at the beginning of September. I was supposed to go back to school, to start school on the 25th of September. I booked a flight on the 3rd of September. I remember very well. That was back in 1996. So you can do the maths now.
You just the ladies, can somebody? I know ladies, you're busy calculating. He's given you an idea.
So I booked a flight. I remember we had Air Seychelles. We had a direct flight from Madrid to Nairobi. So I booked a flight, and when I finished, I called them. I told them I'm coming home in 3 days, and I'm gonna be having breakfast in Nairobi. So I took that flight, went home, and when I met my mom at the airport, she came all the way from the village because she couldn't believe it.
Wow.
She came and she was right in front of me at the airport when I came out. She was waiting for me. Well, she did it. She did it for many occasions. When I traveled home, she used to come to the airport, come and receive me. And that's one of the most beautiful things that you can have. So
amazing.
The way she hugged me when I got to the airport and the way she gave me a kiss, that had never happened before. That was the most beautiful thing. Yeah, I'm telling you, got goosebumps now. Well, I've never told her.
I know, because I'm just trying to imagine, and like I don't know how it was for you, but I'm assuming because we are we are all raised in this space, and they always like it's always like said how our parents are sometimes they're very hesitant in how they show emotions.
Yeah. But that one, that day, I think it got her, and on that day she believed that her son was still there. Because even in Spain at that time, I didn't have enough money, so as a student, so I would call maybe once a month. And when I called, I remember we used to buy these. We didn't have these smartphones or anything, not even a mobile phone. We used to go to the booths. And there were some calling cards that we used to slip into the booth to call. And I remember they used to cost a fortune. And they would only give you 3 minutes to talk to someone. So I used to call my brother in Nairobi, and then he relays the messages back at home. So, I think in her, she thought maybe my son is gone to Europe. It's very far away from here. I'm never going to see him again. But then there I was. And I spent a month with them, which was the most beautiful after me leaving the country. And then I came back, and I was totally re-energized. So I went back to school more relaxed, with a lot of focus to continue and be able to finish my studies. So yeah, it was not easy for my parents, not easy for my siblings either. But yeah, it's life, I guess. At times, our lives take these avenues that we have to follow, and that's it. One of my pastors or my priests told me that the parents would have kids, and what you do is you teach them to go away, so that when they go away, you teach them to release them afterwards, so that they can go away to the world and be able to fend for themselves. So I guess that's the same story across the entire world. So yeah, they had to. I think they had to allow me to go, though maybe that was in deep in themselves they were not very sure, but they did. But anyways, as a family, we've had such a wonderful. They've taught me a lot. So when I went to Spain, I could actually do everything on my own. Now, most Kenyan kids, we can cook from a very young age, because at some point, when you cannot go to stand and farm and plow the farm, you're left at home with your younger siblings, and you have to cook for them, change them, Now we have diapers, but back then we didn't have. We had napkins, and I had two younger sisters that I had to take care of, feed them, but also make food for the people who have gone to the farm. When they come back home, they are tired, dusty. If there's no water has to be ready for them to come take a shower, blah blah, and then food on the table. At a very early age. So before I was 10 years old, I would say technically I could cook for the whole family of 8.
You actually brought up in such a way that you can literally take some of these responsibilities at a very young age.
It
makes you a very good stuff. And guys, if you have any question you want to ask Hajways, please feel free to type it on the chat. And like Hajways, there's a comment here. I don't know how you'll read. It was written in Spanish. There is no I'm translating.
Where is it? I'm struggling with this thingy here. Just one sec.
I've just highlighted it for you on the screen.
Hajways, un placer, Bustamante, darling. Muchísimas gracias. Ha sido siempre un placer. Tú siempre has estado ahí para todos los vídeos que he ido sacando día a día. Vienes, los ves y tal. Y ahora me acuerdo que te dije que por favor que empieces con el vídeo y con los vídeos. Y has empezado y me encanta.
Guys, I'm being sold. That was longer than what the statement was. You went.
You know what? All the people who are on this chat, they do recognize that Darling Bustamante is one of those very supportive people on YT Streets. She's always there. She comes to all our lives, our premieres, and if she doesn't, she comes and watches and stuff. So hands up.
Thank you so much for that. And I just thought I should give you a moment because that was a comment I think that was addressed to you. And it's nice to see everybody. Thank you so much once again, guys. If you don't have the amazing co-host Hajways, you can connect to his house. You just click on the pinned link on the top of my chat. It will take you directly to his live stream. We are multi-streaming, so we are on both platforms. You can be watching from his side. I actually encourage you to go and watch from his side. He will send you back when it's done. I know you people love receipts too much. So, and then Kavi was telling you, Hajways, that Hajways, you're so professional today. You're not collecting receipts. That is Kavi. Kavi was attacking you about receipts earlier on. I just make sure. So guys,
no, I'm not very conversant with the receipts. So, but time will come.
For some reason, Kavi thinks that you are behaving. For some reason.
Yeah, if Yanyikul says yes, I cooked for all. Sometimes when our parents travel, they travel with those that help out, so we don't have to depend on any. Yeah, that's true. And when I went to Spain, or when I was in Nairobi with my siblings, we could take care of ourselves just because of that. It's those lessons that we got when we were younger. Very true.
True. So Hajways, you leave Kenya, you go to Spain. You're a kid born and raised in the village. You've been raised in an African setting. Tell us about first of all, moving and you'll bear me witness. Moving from a Kenyan village to the city is already a transition enough.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to imagine, you move from the village, you move to the city. Barely 1 year later, you are in a European country. How do you what is this? What is the feeling like? Because it's like you've totally been moved from something totally different.
Yeah.
So how do you react? What are those initial shocking moments?
It was like a dream, like when you sleep and you wake up and you find yourself in a totally different environment. That's how it happened. To me, that was the feeling. And then you're used to a certain lifestyle, and then here you come. I'm a village boy, okay? But then when I got to Spain, I was treated well. So I had this guy who worked with us in that travel agency that I mentioned I worked for 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
But he came and worked for 2 weeks and left. He said he couldn't have it. So we exchanged contacts, and luckily enough, I got that thing to go to Spain. So the first person to contact was him. I told him I'm coming. So he did come and pick me up from the airport. And no other people will take a taxi and tell the taxi driver, drop me off at this point. isn't it?
Yeah.
That was not my case. So the guy came. We didn't go by taxi. He put me on the bus from the airport, the airport shuttles. We went to a location in town, and then from there, we just jumped straight into the subway, to the underground, the trains. And so you can just imagine, 24 hours before, I was in a matatu. Ganya. Yeah. And I got into a bus which was not your regular bus from the airport.
Yeah.
And then I'm driving through these highways, and I'm like, gosh, I'm used to the Ngara road, you know. And then
the shenanigans back then, you know, by then even the overpasses and I mean, the time I think you are living in Kenya, even the overpass was not there. I'm just trying to imagine the shenanigans around that road.
They were not there.
Yeah.
I don't even think they thought about them. But then, so then from there, I jump into the subway, and these guys, their line 1 of the subway was built in the early 1900s. I might miss it by a few years, but I think about 1912, 19 something, they had their line 1. I'll go back. I think that's what I have in memory, that's what happened. I might be wrong, but long time ago they had. So when I came, that network, the underground network, had actually about 10 lines. Okay?
Yeah.
And now they've grown to about 13. So it's not a massive difference now. And then we went all the way to the hostels. Now, when I got to the hostels, actually that hostel was like a hotel, because they used to come to clean my room every day, change my beddings every other 2 days, and then we had like a cinema room where we used to go to watch movies. There was a TV room, and then there was the dining room, a massive one, and we had people serving us. And Makiu, this is a kid who has never put foot in a hotel.
Wow.
Leave alone a hotel. Never in a restaurant. Not even to have like a sit down, like do a nyama choma.
Wow.
Never. And I'm being treated like that. So I wake up in the morning, I'm picking my tray, and I go, we are queuing, and they're serving us the food, and I was like, hey, this is good. you know, this is life.
Yeah.
So that's how it started. So the impact was big, and then I got to the town center, started moving around. Of course, I did have some experiences that were not very positive. At that time when I got to Spain, there are not many black people in Spain. Not many.
I can imagine.
You'd hardly find them. In the hostels where I was living, yes, we had a few, but they didn't have many people coming from like world over. There was only 3 or 4 Kenyans. We used to meet every other 2 or 3 weekends, and whoever had some ugali, that means you had traveled a few months or that year, and you came with a good stash of we used to go there and we make some ugali, you know, on that time.
Yeah.
I do remember this occasion. I think I've mentioned it in another video as well, where I was walking in. Just imagine if you're walking in Kenyatta Avenue, and then someone is coming from the other side, but then they decide to branch into one of the smaller streets, and then they come back, a black guy, and then they come back. It's the town center full of people, and then they come back and they start waving at you, just because they've seen another black person.
I know.
That gesture tells you a lot. And we were like, at some point I used to feel like an alien in some places, where you go into these smaller supermarkets and you have people following you behind, just so that you don't pick, stereotyping, so you don't pick anything. And it did happen, so these are things that we have to speak about. I've sat in the subway, I'm sat in the metro, they call them metros, I'm sat in the subway, and they're either you sit in front of each other, or there's like a lines of seats, and if there's a line, it's 2-2, so you sit, and if you sit there and you found someone might just wake up and go to the other side. Or if you sit somewhere, even if the whole train, the wagon is full, no one will sit next to you. So it got to a point where I was young, and of course, when we are young, at times we're crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't think of the repercussions at times. So there was a time I was like, I'm fed up. So it was like where you have like a line of like 4 chairs together, just in one line, and I went and sat there, and everybody woke up and left. So I went to the other edge and put my legs on top of it. I just sat like a king. That was that was in 1996, and I remember the way people are looking at me. That like not really impressed. But what do I do? You don't want to sit with me, anyways. Nobody's going to sit there, so I'll just sit myself. Yeah, I've paid anyway, so that's fine. And such like it. But the bad things or the good things that I experienced in Spain do outweigh the bad things. And you know what? I think I've lived in Kenya. I've lived in Spain. Now I'm living in the UK, and nowhere in the world you would say that it is perfect. You've got people with different types of behaviors. The cultures are different. Blah blah blah, and so things do happen. It's not all rosy in Kenya. It's not all rosy in Spain, and not here, not in the US, not in Canada, not in Australia, not in Japan, not in India. You'll have some characters always. So, but they are the few. So we always concentrate on those ones who I would say positive thinking, and those who can do or can contribute positively. Like, I normally don't waste my time being mad at anyone. I keep it myself. I keep quiet. I don't like arguing, and just let it go. But yeah, if it calls for it, then at times you can't do it. But most times it's you suffer more than if you concentrated on being happy. So when I had those experiences, I would like to look at the fun side of it and just move on. Yeah, so it wasn't easy, but as I lived longer in Spain, then of course with the correct behaviors as well, you're like a good ambassador. So people start knowing you, and hence they relate to your behaviors and to your way of thinking and all that, and then they treat you differently. Differently, but I mean in a positive way, because now they know you. Like if you don't know someone, you can't relate to it. But if you do, then you can relate to them. Right? You choose whether it's positive or negative. But yeah, so with time, it became a wonderful experience. I've met wonderful people. I have many friends in Spain, and it's actually like my second home. So
I like that.
Yeah.
So I'm very. I like the comments that are coming in, and this one is almost like a quote that somebody should go and print on a T-shirt. You'll never understand the importance of ugali until you travel to a place you don't have it. That's a quote right there, guys. That's a quote. Put it on a T-shirt. Someone put that quote on a T-shirt. Dida Safari. That is very profound. Kenyan proverbs. That is very profound. Yeah, that's epic. That's an epic quote. Put it on a T-shirt. And then Unlock the Village are watching you from Rwanda. You may have seen Unlock 2 weeks ago, and she was like,
yes, I did. She's doing a wonderful job as well.
Yeah, so Unlock is asking you, how can you compare your village life experience with the one you currently have now? I mean, from the village, as you know, you're trying. I think she was just trying to feedback on what the question I asked in terms of the transition.
Yeah, so it is very different. We did speak about the community sense of side of things back in the village. I think if I live in the village, I cannot die of hunger if my neighbor has some food.
That's true.
If I'm being rained on, maybe I can get some shelter for that time until these things still happen, especially in the villages, because everybody knows each other. We are almost like family in a village, a big family, isn't it? So people do help each other as much as possible. But here in Europe, it is totally different. Everybody minds their own business. Everybody minds their own business. And especially like here in the UK, it's totally different. Some people who live here in the UK, like probably Nan, Musa, and the rest, they could attest to it. It's very different. Even like very different from Spain. In Spain, they're more. You lead a more social life than here. When we came to the UK, it was like a 360. I mean, we do have wonderful neighbors ourselves, and we can talk to each other, blah blah blah. If I have any issues, I can tell them. Oh, please, I'm going to receive a parcel. Can you take care of it until I come back? And and I'm very sure that if I knocked on their house and tell them I'm hungry, I need some food, they will give me some food. We have, but because of the lifestyles, the work, and everything, people do not have time. I don't know. Probably I can count the number of times I've stood here and I've had conversations with my neighbors. We do say hi to each other, but it's not that much. I don't think I could say comfortable that we know that they know me and I know them. Which is something that I was not brought up like that. It's totally different. But yeah, here people they mind their own business. It's you and your family. And if you have friends, then fine. But my best friend, I've not seen him, and he lives not far away. He lives like 10 minutes away from here. We've not seen each other for the last. I think the last time we saw each other was in January or February.
Wow.
It's not because he doesn't want to or I don't want to, but everybody's running up and down. The clock is ticking, and you're just running because you have to pay the bills. Definitely. I mean, or basically.
Like you're saying as compared to like Africa here, where I will be like, hey, Hajways, I'm just in the neighborhood. I'm coming. Randomly, like.
Randomly. I'm in the village. I'm coming, and you just pop in. We have a chat for. You're meant to come in for 5 minutes, but it ends up being 1 hour, and it's good. We've seen each other. You don't have to call anyone to tell them you're going. You can actually just go and knock on the door, and if someone is home, they will open and make you a cup of tea.
I like that story you're discussing with the chef. You remember that story that you're saying that in your home, like there always used to be like a flask of tea because it was expected. Remember that story? We used to have flasks. They would keep tea because people can knock on your door anytime. So it is common practice that if somebody knocks on your door, you offer them something. So if you don't have tea, you would have something else to offer. You always have to offer something, Absolutely.
And if you didn't offer because you genuinely don't have, it's not like a must, but it's a custom. Then people feel like they're welcomed to your homestead.
And I'm sure even if I just share parallels, like it's also like and if they don't have, you're also trained like when you're going to visit somebody, you don't go empty-handed.
You bring some.
So you carry something because you may be there. Yeah.
Like back in the village. I think it's most in the villages at least in Kenya. Because there's always tea that is offered in the villages, especially when you go to visit, you bring sugar and milk.
Absolutely.
And if you can add bread, then you add bread. And once you have those three things, it's a party already. So people are trained that way as well. That's very true.
I like that. So how long do you stay in Spain, and how long is the scholarship, and then did you like get to come back home every time you finish the school term, or you had to like now as you're getting acclimatized to the to Madrid or wherever it is, how does like the schedule shift, and how was that experience?
So the first years, I did go home like every other year, and then I do remember the last time when I finished school, I was supposed to go back home, but I couldn't because we had there was something that was going on in the Coast Province. There was like some tribal clashes, I would call them. It was like a mini scuffle, a big one, a good one, to an extent where it was affecting the tourism industry. So the travel agencies, the hotels, they started closing shop because no one was coming. So I spoke to my dad and I told him, and actually I had made my suitcase. I was going home. So I told my dad, I just have to go and pay for my air ticket. I'm done, and I'm coming in a week's time or so. And he started talking to me, and I had to call him back. I remember I spoke to him. He had to go to the post office to receive the call in a booth, because that was the only booth where you could receive a call from in the village. The red ones. I don't know if you've seen them, you guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had to call him. I had to go buy another card, and call him like 3 times. And we had a discussion. He told me, if there's anything else that you feel like you can do there, just go ahead, because if you come home, you have no job. You won't get any job. They're closing. Closing shops. Yeah. So that made me stay in Spain. And immediately I went, because my student's visa was expiring. So I went to the government and requested for extension, which was denied. But in between that time, until you get a letter that it's been denied, you are legal, because your papers are being processed. So when I went to, when it got denied, or a week before it got denied, there was something like a green card that they were issuing in Spain. I put the application form. So I had 2 parallel applications going on. And 1 year later, I used to go around with a pink letter that they gave me from the police, which was now in tatter. It was torn. You could not even read anything, but they knew when they saw it, because that was my idea to bring it in my pocket. 1 year later, I got a letter from the police department that they had given me the residence permit for 2 years. Yeah. So I started looking for work, and all this time, of course, I've not gone home, because I couldn't go home.
Of course, because
as long as I
stepped
in the airport and gave my passport, that was the end of me. I had to leave the country, which I didn't mind. If it came to pass, I would go. But
you'll go
then,
home.
So I ended up staying there so I had to look for a job, because all these years that I've been there, I've just been looking for jobs for monies here and there. At times I have to get from someone who helps me. And then I got a job. So I worked that first job and the second one. So I made a little money. And then the first thing I did was to book an air ticket to go home. But that was 4 years later. So.
Oh, wow.
So it was quite, but then afterwards I started going home very regularly. And I miss home. It's not just now that I've not gone for a while as well. And I don't want to think about it, because I miss my people. Like,
how many years has it been? 10?
No, I don't want to talk about it. It's long.
Okay. Oh, it's long. Yeah, it's long. I had it at the interview, and I was like, "Oof, this is a long time to be from home."
It's really long.
Did you get to stick to the same? Did you get to stick to the same job, or did you transition into something else? Are you still in the space of tourism, or you had to transition into?
So I worked in tourism for a while. Then so I started in a travel agency there in Spain, and then I moved to hotels. I worked in hotels for quite a long time. And then when I came to the UK, I worked in one hotel for 1 year and a half, for almost 2 years, 1 year 8 months. And then I moved into the real estate business. So I work for an estate agency now.
Oh, nice.
So it's new times, new beginnings. But I've been there now with them for a year. So it's going well. It's something that I'm liking.
I like that. So you said we moved. So your family. So one of the things I guess when you're working in Spain, did you get to start your family also from Spain? Because you mentioned you moved to the UK with in plural. So I picked that one real quick up there. So how was that experience? Because you're working, you're settling in, and you're away from home. And how is the whole aspect of family building, especially in Africa, where we sometimes it gets, you start getting that bit of pressure that, there's this beautiful girl from Mrs. So-and-so's village. It would be nice if we are relatives, you know. you know, sometimes our
those
parents,
those
you
those,
know, they
those
start
things
putting,
happen.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but
yeah, carry on.
sorry, go ahead. So how?
No, I'm done. Yeah, just carry on.
Yeah. I mean, I have. Sorry, something got into my head. I have a family. I've got 2 kids and my wife, and we lived in Spain and we moved together here in the UK. So that's why I was saying we moved because I always include them. When you have your people already, your family, you always talk in plural. Even at times you don't realize that you talk. I think even those periods when they were not there, you still include them at times. Yeah, but of course, when I moved from Kenya, I was alone. I'd not yet gotten married. I got married later, but when I was in Spain. So yeah, we lived in Spain together for quite a number of years. That's where we got both our kids were born in Spain actually. So they consider themselves Spaniards, but they know that they're Kenyans. And yeah, and yeah, here they are now. So we're happily living here in the UK. Yeah.
Okay. There's a lady on the chat who has made me really laugh, and I just want to I don't want to she was like, okay, so he's married. Okay, fine. So the lady is asking, where did you meet your mpoa? How was that experience meeting your wife and the mother of your children? Because now that you said you're a father and a dad, they've resigned themselves to fate because some thought that you're available until they saw your finger when you're busy adjusting something.
No, yeah. I'm looking at the comments here as well. No, we knew each other from back at home.
Oh, nice.
So it's someone I know from very young.
Okay. Oh, wow. Guys, ladies, sip your coffee. Ladies, sip your coffee, drink your water, mind your business. That's a good one. So yeah. I mean, I'm trying to tell me something about your experience of your kids. Your kids are born in Spain, and then have they gotten to visit home? And that was that experience for them because they literally grow in a space they're born in Europe, so they become I don't know, by birth probably. But then how do you, as an African father, there are certain values, the values that you talked about. I know it takes a village. There are certain values probably you've seen while living abroad that you not want your kids to take up. So how do you manage to just those ideals that you are raised up with as a boy in Taita? How do you manage to inculcate these values to your kids who are now born in Europe and they get to have certain privileges that you didn't enjoy? Because they're European, and as much as you want to say you want to ingrain the Kenyan values, they look at your dad. What are you talking about? What is Nganya? What is those kind of things? Yeah. So how do you get to
They don't know. For them, probably when they see Nganya and they walk in there, they say, "Wow, it looks cool, but it's too noisy." For them, when they walk into a bus, it's very quiet. You can hear someone probably on the phone at times, and that's it. Or when here we have trams, we don't have the subways like we had them in Spain. And it's all quiet. You can hear people having conversations, but nothing much. But we've shown them all these things, and they know them. My elder daughter, they know. I mean, she's been in Kenya when she fully could, digest things that were happening around her and pick some knowledge as well. We've made sure that they've come home when they're young, but also we've made sure that they stay in communication and they know their family back at home. So they know everyone back at home. They know their cousins, they know their uncles, their aunties, and when they talk about them, they talk about them fondly, and they always ask me, when are we going? Because they want to go. They, to some extent, they do remember the experiences they had the first time they stepped into the village when they were, maybe the younger one does not remember those times when we went, But the elder one, yeah, she does remember, and she loves it. She loved it at the village. She felt, you know, there are things that happen back at home that when we compare to Europe, for example,
Yes.
you would value. There's that sense of freedom when especially in the village life. You really you breathe freedom totally.
Yeah.
No, and that is something that is priceless. You can't get that here because when they say you've got freedom in your own space, yeah, you do what you want. Yeah,
That's
but here you've got to do this and the laws that govern this, and there are written and non-written laws and all these things, and the kids
yes.
grow up in a specific way. You have to teach them in a specific ways. Even the values, you have to inculcate the values in a specific way. You have to talk to them, not like our parents would talk to us. They didn't talk to us as if we're grown-ups. Here you talk to the kid as if they are grown-ups. You don't just call them just out of the blues. Like it used to happen in our times. It was different as well. I think now things have changed. The kids here are taught in school, they're taught their rights, so they know that if it's abuse, it is abuse, and they're going to tell you up front that that is child abuse. They don't, and I'm going to report you. So
you're like
yeah. I mean, we've had because the beauty of the thing is you can start talking to your kids like a mature person from an early age, and even when like in schools, when the kids are young, when they're talking to you, they are taught to look at you in the eye. It is not rude. So that grows their confidence. But back at home, when we were growing up, when you looked at somebody like this with a straight eye, they were like, "This guy is very rude."
I know, like it is amazing. Like they see you're disrespectful. In fact, you're trained like when you're speaking to authority, lower your gaze. Like you need to lower your gaze.
So it's, that part, for example, it kind of brings you down. And then, so when I came to Europe, I'm talking to people and I'm looking at them the way they are quite. They look at you in the eye, blah blah, and you are that type when you're struggling to look at people in the eye, until you learn, and then you learn the benefits of it. It is actually something very positive, and that I want, for example, my kids to have that confidence since their young age, because the speed at which life goes here, if you're not looking at people and they don't have that confidence, my friend, they're lost. So so yeah, it is the way you bring up kids and the way you talk to them about values. We do a lot of conversations, and it has to be consistency so that it sinks, and then hopefully in future it's going to do some wonders.
I love that. You have a very beautiful question that I like, and I want to just put it up for you on the screen. Kobinata is asking you, do your children know your mother tongue or Kiswahili?
I have to be very sincere that I'm struggling with that. But they do understand. Not entirely, but they do understand. Makiu, when they do say that kids are like sponge and all that, but when we were in Spain, they understood the language much better, the Swahili. And to some extent, the elder one could actually speak. She just didn't want to speak, because when we were in Kenya, she was speaking fluently. We had never heard her speaking Swahili. And then when we got to Kenya, after 10 minutes, she just started speaking Swahili, and it was just wonderful. And then we were, when did she learn Swahili?
What happened?
She went to the village. She was playing with other kids, and it was as if she had spoken Swahili all her life. And then when she came back to Spain, we served her dinner on the table, and she switched off, and she went back to Spanish.
I love that girl. She's like, okay, moving on, Steve.
Yeah. So now here we are in Spain. We are speaking Spanish and Swahili to them, and then they start teaching them English because the system becomes bilingual. and
Yeah,
they're totally
yeah.
confused. And that's one of the reasons also that, we took advantage of the event and said, okay, fine then, like I had like some issues that were going on with me at the end of it all, and I was not feeling the vibe, and I thought, I should not continue like this, because life is not just work. I should take care of myself better and stuff like that, and I had to make decisions. So the UK then became one of the options, and of course now I'm coming here, I have a family, so I decided, you know what, I'm just going to bring them here. So they came, and they have to start studying in a different setup completely now, and in English. So that, I think, has watered down all the efforts that we had for them to speak Swahili. And yeah, so they do not speak Swahili that fluent, but we are trying, because we do speak Swahili at home. So I believe that though they don't speak it, they do understand quite a lot. And probably when we come home, and I think because they're growing older, they should be able to start, they can travel a lot at times at home. So they could go on holidays for 1 or 2 months, and then, that's the best time for them to practice their Swahili. So that answered, I think. Kobenata. I think the host has gone, has taken a break. It's fine.
Sorry. Yes, the host has taken a break. Carry on. Just carry on. I was taking a call here real quick.
There were some things I did wanted to talk about. In Spain, for example, when I went and I started my studies and all that. The way the studies or your lessons are structured, and how they actually relevant to the things that you're going to do afterwards, and the way it is very practical oriented at times, though also it goes very, very deep, is something that I found very, very interesting and very different from how we did things back at home. And I think these are things that could, I think they've changed the education system back at home. It's called what now?
It's called CBC.
CDC or CBC, yeah. Yeah, and I think that is going to be a very good opportunity. People might talk this or they say that it is still early. So if it is given time, I think that's one system that could work for the kids. Here in the UK, kids are going to high school at 12 years old. Even 11 plus. It depends on when you're born. If you're born like August, around there, definitely you'll be going in high school when you're still 11. They're very young, and we went to high school when we were like 14.
I know.
So,
I'm just trying to figure out, like, those are kids. Like, can you imagine how tiny they are?
So, but the way the education is structured is very very practical, and it actually prepares you to be that person in front of that, on that desk, doing that which you have been taught to do. Also, when I was living in back at home, and we were going to school, you start studying a career, but there was nothing like internships. Well, here, when I started school, that second week, what they told me is you have to enroll yourself on an internship program. So you'll be coming to school, but you're going to office to work at least 2 days a week. Wow. And that forms part of your qualifications at the end of your career. If you don't do it, you don't pass. You have to go and do your internship and bring your report. So that was very important, and that is something that probably they could be copied and it's integrated, and the government could probably reach an agreement with all these private firms. I know they will be very happy because they do have a workforce there, people who they teach, they can come and they can mentor them, and even when they finish their careers, they can come and start working for this company. So it's like you're investing as a company and as a government for future. So those are, like, I would say, in education, the biggest things that I found. And then here in the UK, they call it, I think it's something to do with like, it's like participatory type of education. So you do participate a lot in class.
Yeah.
So
rather than
it's not just the
being told, like being told.
Exactly. Yeah. So people form discussion groups, they, such like things, and they kind of make you more comfortable, especially when now you're growing up, you finish your studies and you're going to work and stuff. You're actually prepared to have like real debates, or contribute, brainstorming, blah blah blah. All these things are nurtured when you are even in high school, and that confidence that you get to speak in front of people is something that I think we did not. But someone like me was a bit of a cartoon when I was still in high school. I used to sing a lot in primary school. I was the only boy who sang in that choir, and then after some time, there's another one who joined me, because it was seemed to be a bit feminist, I think, which is stupid.
Yeah.
You sang in a choir, and I had like 15 girls there, and it's just me singing. But just because I loved singing. And then I used to sing in the Sunday school, but then in high school, we had a massive choir because I met it was a boys' school, and I met like other people who wanted to sing, so we sang. So I did that, and then I used to play drama. So yeah, I used to do all these things. So yeah, I was a bit, I think so. These did help me coming from that reality. They did help me to be able to talk. Though I do consider myself as a shy person at times, but I'm not. I don't shy away from conversations. I can have a conversation so long as the person who's, the way conversation is two ways. Yeah,
absolutely.
You have to give way to the other person. You have to listen, and then you also have to help the other person during the conversations.
Absolutely.
I can see you doing it.
Like it flows.
So that it flows. I can see you doing it. When I slow down a bit, I see you coming in naturally to do something which is very, very important. And when that happens between two people, then conversations can happen. So I can talk.
I love that. And Ifeanyi is like very quick to remind me that, Goga, can you imagine you and Hajways have been live for like the last 1.5 hours, and it feels like it just started. Hajways gave me 1.5 hours, guys,
yes,
but
it's all right. We can go on.
I have to ask his permission.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious about now the big transition to the United Kingdom. Was that like inspired by work, or it was? What are the circumstances you moved from Spain to now the English? The land of the English people, who happen to have been our colonizers here in Kenya, that. So I'm sure the UK experience will be very different from the Spanish experience, because considering we borrowed a lot, from the British, how was? Do you think life was easier in the UK as compared to Spain? How did the kids transition from their second motherland to now the UK? And just trying to figure out that transition.
Okay, so quickly, I think I did tiptoe on it just a few minutes earlier. That I was undergoing this period of time where I was not myself in Spain, and in terms of work, I was looking for better opportunities, but I didn't see them coming, and I thought I was going to be stuck in the same place for ages catching up. I think that ate a bit into my head, and when that happens, you can't stop it. So I didn't want to fall into depression. So there were periods where I was going along without, like a good quality sleep and all these things, and I was not just myself. So there was a time when we had another hotel in London, and there was a position, and it was actually a promotion. So it was offered. I did the interview, passed the interview, and the only thing is the money that was offered was too little. So,
Yeah.
but then I took advantage of that, the dynamics of that time, and then I said, okay, fine, then I'll try to see. So I came, I started to look around, and it's a friend of mine who had worked with me in the same hotel in Madrid. He helped me around. He said, let's do this. This is going to be a good place for you, blah, 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 and the family as well. So we looked at so many things. I went to London. I looked at so many things, and well, I went and visited my cousin. He gave me a good picture of the place. I looked for jobs everywhere in London, here, but this Manchester was the last option. I looked for jobs in the Lake District up here in the north. It rains a lot. It's very cold. But then I found my home. I finally found my home here in the UK, here in Manchester. I came alone. I left them in Spain to set the ground. Came here, stayed alone for about 6-7 months, which was actually very quick because people stay for 1 year plus before they can bring their families. And then I got a house, blah blah blah. Went because they couldn't stay there without me. So I went, took them, and here we started. And for the kids, it was not easy. Not easy for all of us, but for the kids, it wasn't easy. I could see them because you're starting like a new schooling system. When they came here, if they were in year 3, for example, they came here and they were put in year 4, so automatically they jumped 1 year more. So that means they lost like 1 year in between there. But the teachers then, they had like this extra tuition that they were giving them to put them to the levels of the other kids. But you know what? It never happens 100%. So it takes time for them to acclimatize and then to be able to learn all that. It was not easy, and I think they're very strong kids. And if you see them now, it's a different story. I always say that with my very, my English, my very African accent, which we are very proud of, it's true. Nobody can say that. Nobody can say that R the way we say it. No one. It's just us. That is unique in us, and it's something that we have to be very proud of. I carry it with, like up here. So, but for the kids, for example, I look at them, and the times when they're talking, I'm like, what are you saying? It's getting there now. So in 3-4 years, like my friend used to tell me, you have to tell them to come down to your level when you're speaking to them, because otherwise you won't understand what they're saying. And believe me, you can struggle with accents here in the UK. You can. If you go to places like Liverpool, or you go to Ireland, Scotland, and the likes, or you go down here, well, Birmingham is not that bad. But Manchester accent, if you get the deep one, you can suffer, especially at the beginning. This guy I used to work with, I did not understand what he said for the first 2-3 months.
Wow.
So,
but eventually, at least you got there.
Your ear. If you've got an ear for languages, it just gets used to the sounds, and then you start understanding everything that people are saying. But there was this time I was in Spain, and there was this elderly woman who came from, she came from Mississippi. So she was staying in the hotel for 1 year, not 1 year, for 1 month. And she said that, she always wanted to talk to me because she thought that I was the only person she could understand. Well, she could understand me, but at times when she started with her southern accent, like a very, very deep one, my friend, I tell you, you struggle as well. So, it's not that easy. So, the transition has been, but it is one of the countries where it is easy to settle and to transition and be able to settle. Though the biggest problem right now is housing. They've become very expensive. So when you come in, you have to be prepared as a start. You have to cough out a lot of money so as to say, I'm living in an stable environment where I can say I have a house and all these things. It is not easy. But The truth of the matter is, it's not easy to relocate, to go to start a life anywhere. It is very, very challenging.
Absolutely.
You have to prepare yourself. If you can, I can tell you now based on my experiences. But some people don't know. They're just excited about going to a new place, and when you go there, you actually want to go back.
Absolutely.
The people who have had big challenges that I've seen, and at times I've helped others, and at times I was just not able to help. But it is not easy. Like in Spain, when I was in Spain, when they told you there are not so many black people, okay. So we started, they crossed the sea from south, yeah.
Of course,
They're crossing the sea into Europe through Spain in those boats, and some of them are just inflated bladders, for the cars. I technically started seeing that phenomenon when I was in Spain, as in it had never existed, or if it did, there was just one of them every year. But I started seeing them coming in masses and dying while crossing the sea in masses when I was living in Spain, and it was big news on the TV that day that it happened. And these black people are just coming to Spain. It was crazy. Some of them lost their lives while crossing. They do lose their lives when they're walking the desert, through the desert, and then they have to stay there in the desert for months and months, and not maybe years, or go to Morocco, work, get some money, but they get mistreated, and then afterwards they cross if they die, and nobody cares, and that's it. So they come into Spain, and it takes them years for them to be able to get just a permit to be able to live in Spain and walk free in the streets. And then you come in, you don't have the clothing that is required because it can get very cold during the winter.
Winter and stuff.
But in the summer, it gets to about 45 degrees. It depends on where you are. It's burning. You're living in a house, you don't have air conditioning, for example. So everywhere there's challenges that people should probably try to learn before now we have the internet, so you can try to learn before you make a move and say, I'm relocating and going to this place. Or you're told the jobs here and there, you think, how much can you earn, how much can you make in a month if you're working as, I don't know, mention a nurse, you can make like 2,000 pounds. Okay, how much is your house? How much is your food? The bills, they keep adding up, and by the time you finish paying your bills, you're probably left with £100 if you're lucky. But when you look at it, before you, like in the Kenyan perspective, for example, you look at it and you say, I'm getting £2,000. This is, you convert it into Kenyan shillings, and you look at it, you say, that's a lot of money. No, when you're coming here, you have to prepare. Just make sure that you're coming and you're going to the unknown, and that when you come here, things might not look the same way that you think they are, or they look, and that life can be very challenging. And when you come here, there's no stopping. So you hardly have time to transition, or to sit down and say, I have this 1 month, I'm going to get to know this place, and then, no, you don't have that. You come in, and so long as you can start working tomorrow, you come start working tomorrow if you have all your paperwork done, and that's it. And now it is even, they're closing all the avenues for people to come here. So the only way you can come here is probably using the sponsorship license. So you have to get an employer who's looking for a qualified worker from abroad, and then they can offer you everything. And in that case, then make sure that some of them probably can pay for your air ticket and maybe deduct the money's here, or it comes in the package. They can offer you a house for like 3-4 months before you can look for your own. In some hotels, for example, they have accommodation. So those ones are a bit more, much. Those ones who come with that option, it's much easier for them, because they come, they're told, here is where you're going to sleep. It might be very tiny and all that, but you have a bed, you have heating, so that in the winter you don't suffer. and you're working in the
Absolutely.
hotel, which is probably just within the compound, you know. So during your free
Nice.
time, you can adventure around and get to know the city or the town where you live in. But it's not. I like telling people the truth, and even my family,
It's
they know. Like when I went home, I'm not flashy. When I went home, or every time I travel home, I don't like appearing that person, you know, that type of person who I'm not.
yes, like and it's always like a thing like, oh, our son is abroad, so when you come back home, it's like
Yeah, but some of them, if they know how they live here, they can cry.
Yeah,
You know, it's
that's
not
true.
easy. Standing in the cold the whole night for probably £1,500 a month. There are many like that. It's not easy. It's not easy. So for my brothers and sisters who are on the chat and those who are going to watch this video, if you live abroad and you go home, try to be yourself and show
I like that.
true you.
That's powerful.
It's not bad to go and flash money and spend this and this and that, but I think at times all that can do a lot more to the people back there. You can help a bit more where you can, you know, and make sure that there's that impact. They feel that impact of you being there, but not just there, but always when you can. Just try to do that. I don't buy myself a 200 pound, not even that, £100 Nike.
And imagine the village.
And I work hard. You guys, you know, I work Monday to Friday, at times Monday to Saturday. And Sunday in the morning, I wake up. I'm the first one to wake up. By 7 o'clock, I'm awake, or latest if I'm very tired, 8 o'clock. I have a cup of tea, just a cup of tea. And I walk out there, and I could be walking from 8 o'clock until 12 or 1 o'clock. Real walk. And then I come back home. And then when I come back home, I have to sit down, start editing the videos so that I can put them out there. You know, the following day, same, and then work again. So it's not easy. So why would I splash my money, just throw my money out there? I better use it from you know, like if I can help someone because I have it, I do. If I can't, I'm very truthful. I tell them I can't. Even when I used to travel home, if I went and I had the money, I'll be like, okay, fine, I'm going to treat everyone. But if I didn't have it, I used to say openly, like, I've come, I've paid a lot hell of money to come all the way from there to here, and I don't have much. I just have a little that I'm gonna spend here with you guys, and that's it, you know. But yeah, that idea of showing yourself the way you are is very important. It's just
Absolutely.
1 month or holiday that you're going there, and
you want to live like
yeah, you want. I know, but also I do understand some people when they do that, and I'm going to say why. Because, like I said here, we work, we become workaholics. So when you get that month, it is warm back at home. You have people who are smiling at you from a distance. You say hi, and people are saying hi at you. You feel like you belong, and so many things, and you know, you're like over the moon. So at times these reactions, they're like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to give myself the best during this month because I've worked so hard. So I could to some extent understand, but let's do it in a way that is not going to make others feel like, you know, because it's coming from it's not good. So yeah. If someone out there wants to come to Europe, they should know these things.
And I like how you're putting that out so clear, because you know, one of the things that, you know, with this conversation with you is that, you know, you're putting it on the table. It's not as easy as it may look, because most of us, even, you know, we sit here in Africa, and, you know, when we know somebody is abroad, even the pressure, you start piling a lot of pressure on them. The next Harambe, Hajways, you know, you're my brother. Are you coming for my I have a church event? You know, this is happening because you live abroad, yet you are not alive to the realities that that you may be actually grappling there. The next question I just want to ask before I move into your adventures, because you mentioned adventures, is you've lived in Kenya, you moved to Spain, you transitioned, you moved to England. There's a lot of cultural transition happening in your life at this particular point. How is the comparison between living in Spain and and for some reason, because I'm just trying to imagine, I feel the Spanish people will be more, and you said it earlier, that are more sociable or social in a sense as compared to the United Kingdom, because I did have a privilege to visit the United Kingdom in 2019 for the first time, and I don't know. At some point, I was there for like a while. I think I was there for like about 3 weeks because I had some bit of time, and I went all the way up to Scotland. And there's a point I was there in Glasgow. It was very late at night, and it was like dark, and it's amazing how you can walk in the streets whichever time of the day. Mm-hmm. And I remember I was in Glasgow, and I was like, I miss home. I want to go back home. This is not working. This relationship is not. It was almost like some very strong pain. Yeah. I said I want to go back home. I don't know, because I was missing those things you're talking about. Like, people in the streets are very, I don't know. I was like, what's going on? There's no...
it's a different vibe.
It was a very different vibe. I didn't like that vibration at all. And it's very transactional, even when you find it. Like, it's the lady at the shop. How you doing, my darling? Like, it's not darling in a sense, but I'm paying money here, and it's very transactional, and you don't read so much into it. So I'm just trying to imagine, how was it for you? How was that cultural shift now from having lived in Kenya, you've been experienced Spain, and now you're in, of course, the United Kingdom. So I'm just trying to piggyback on your experience on that.
Yeah, so that also will fall in the same brackets of it's an adventure, and in that adventure of me coming from Kenya and then to Spain, so there are things that I used to see in Spain that I mentioned before that I didn't like, and then there are many other things that I did like, but I did like them because I learned a lot from them. And they changed me as a person, or the way I see things, the way I see people. I'm a person who has got like easily open hands to welcome people.
Yeah.
So I made many friends, and then the advantage is I was very young when I went to Spain.
Yeah.
So the younger you are, the easier. I liked that comment from Dida. Very truthful indeed. So when you're young, you are still like a sponge, so you absorb a lot, knowing or unknowingly. You absorb a lot. Everything that passes in front of you, through your eyes, is an opportunity to learn and to be able to see if that which is good or is going to serve the purpose and that which won't. So I learned very quickly, but also the thing is, I learned very quickly because of the people who surrounded me and the way they were talking. I found that I was a bit behind because the conversations they were having were totally different. Things that I didn't have, because me, I'm a kid from the village, and if I saw a TV, I saw one from my neighbor. We had radio, the ones that you don't know, Goga, you've never seen them. They were like a box, and it's a red one. They used to be Philips. Every home in the village had that type of vid. Well, not all of them. Some of them had that one. It was a very old one. It was very difficult to break. I think I don't know. I think we still have that radio in the village. In the house, in the village house. There was a red one. I don't know if it's there, it works or it doesn't. I don't know, but. On television we didn't have. I saw the TV the first time when I went to high school, and we only used to watch it over the weekends to watch football.
Entertainment session.
Football made in Germany. Entertainment session. Football made in Germany. The Bundesliga. There was that one on Saturday, and then on Sunday we'd watch a movie, and that was it. TV closed until next weekend. And then so there are things like cartoons that we did. I only watched this Sonic and the Hedgehog, I think, the last 1 year before I came to Spain. And because my brother used to like it, but it was not something that I really loved. But anyways, so I go to Spain, and these people are speaking based on their experiences. Now my adventure begins to catch up with these people, so that when they are having conversations, at least I can have a conversation on the same level.
Absolutely,
if they're talking to me about a movie star, I should know who that movie star is. If I'm not, I'm an alien. So I'm left out in that conversation. I can't talk. So I have to go and research and come and, when they're having conversations, I can understand. But then the adventure also goes into the type of food that is eaten, which is totally different. Experiences here. I'm from the village. I don't know what seafood is, and I come here and and this day I go to eat, and they have these prawns very nicely done. They have I don't know what that is. I've read about it, but I've never. So you start struggling. We didn't know even how to use the forks and the knives properly, So we start learning, but it's life is like that. It's part of the struggle. So long as you are open to learn, then you will learn.
Absolutely.
And you will catch up with the rest of the people, and that's what eventually happened. So I had this wonderful group of kids that used to go to school with us that took me in as one of their own, and they taught me so many things, and that's why I could speak Spanish in 3-4 months, because I was only surrounded by people who did not speak English.
That's true.
So how did my conversations at the beginning, or they were horrible, I don't know, but I did manage. So they taught me a lot. They spoke to me about their culture. One of them, I remember, my friend is called Ruben. He took me to his village. So the first Easter celebrations, people go home. So I was left alone. So he said, can I come with you? Can you come with me I've spoken to my parents. The parents don't know me. The guy took me to his village, his family, and we had a wonderful Easter there. So I said, the celebrations, blah, blah. We did a barbecue by the river. There's so many. We played football on top of a mountain, and it was very cold because it was in the mountains. They call them gredos. It was beautiful in a place called Avila. And then I come back. I can mingle also with the few Kenyans that were there, and we share the stories that we know about ourselves and everything, and compare them with these and what they have learned, and they're teaching me and all that. And with time, things just started working out. So there's a lot that I've learned. I've also learned that if a people is determined to make change, then change happens. If a people is determined to make change, then that change will happen. And we start with ourselves. So, for example, I could have given up because I didn't speak the Spanish, isn't it? I could have given up and said, but I was determined to learn that Spanish and to be able to get my studies done and everything, and be able to use that Spanish afterwards for many other things. And that goes to everything that we probably do in life. So I've seen here in systems work, and that is something that we can learn. All of our systems work, and these systems have been made by people. People are not greedy. So people don't own acres of land here. In fact, many people don't own a house. They rent a house in the entire lives. Just rent a life. And that space that you have, which is probably about, we don't have big houses here. We have very small, tiny houses. You've been to Glasgow,
Yeah.
They're not big. They're very tiny houses. The
Very
ones,
tiny.
yeah, and your neighbor could be a millionaire, and he lives in the same type of setting like you. I said in one of the videos, you could tell possibly because they have this type of car that they're driving.
Mm.
Then you know that that car is not cheap. Hence, to have that car, then you have to have some money. But you could be technically, you could have a Bill Gates or whatever next door. And no, I remember seeing the previous president here, the prime minister here. I remember seeing before he went to number 10. He used to live in a normal house, just like the one I live.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was by then he was a big.
That's unimaginable here in this side of the world. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, in London, he used to live in a house just like this one we live in. It was not like an excessively. It was a bit bigger than the one I have, but still very similar.
Mm.
And they take the tube. We call it in London. They take the subway to go to work, to go to the Parliament, Westminster. We see them in the buses. That guy, the previous prime minister, I saw him one day on a video. He had just gone to a regular convenience store in the neighborhood, and he was riding his own bicycle.
Wow.
He went, bought, people said hi to him, he said hi, and he bought, he was given his stuff, he jumped back on his bicycle and went home.
A leader among the people.
Yeah, but if we are not greedy, then we can walk free. You understand? And then and then we can be free. So we can ride a bicycle, and I can stand and talk to anyone without the need of having 10 people behind me with stuff that they're taking care of me. You understand? So it's that change that starts with ourselves, and then it can extrapolate to the entire community. But we have to learn. We have to learn to make these changes, and then we have all these things. We have like a healthcare system that works. We have schools that work. We have a road network that serves the purpose. We have a drainage system that works. So many things. We have a fire brigade that actually works, or we have. I could give 100 examples in it. Water supply that is reliable. So many things, but it all starts with us, and then it can, once everybody else is thinking positively and that they want that change, then it can resonate with other people, and things can happen. It's not like here it's just a bed of roses and everything works. Things break down. We're always complaining, why are these buses getting late, blah blah blah, and we pay a lot of money for them. It's called for. Or why are there no trams today because of this? But actually they do exist. It's just that there's technical problems at times, and at times people have to go on their strikes, and because it's their rights and things like this. So yeah, life has taught me so many things. So, but it has taught me, I would say, the most important thing I can take in my journey of life is just to be simple, just to be and not to be.
Simple.
To appear to be and to appear not to be. Just very simple. When I pass by, nobody thinks I'm just a normal person, and that's it. And to respect others and all these things.
And I love that, and that's like very powerful, a powerful salutation on being a human being, humanity itself. Thank you so much, Kavi. I really appreciate the work. I don't know how that person is, but you're doing an amazing job. Just to get towards the tail end of the conversation, still speaking on adventures, is your YouTube channel, Hajways.
Yeah.
What inspired you to start a YouTube channel? And in your channel you document a lot of the adventures, the exploration, the places you are, and I like how it's normally your walks. You're walking in different neighborhoods, different parts of if you're not showing us some beautiful place in Madrid, you're also showing us somewhere in the United Kingdom. It can be a neighborhood in the United Kingdom that you're trying to, to like showcase. Why, what inspired you to start the YouTube channel, and why did you take the direction of exploration of different parts of the places you are in, and sharing with us your journeys in those places? Because I always feel like I'm on a trip with you in these videos. Like, oh, which part of the UK are we touring today?
So the way it began, it's not something that I thought of doing. I never thought about doing YouTube. Never. It started accidentally because I was working when I changed my profession. I started working on some shift patterns, which were 4 days on and 4 days off. So I would work 12 hours straight every other day, and then I was off for 4 days. So the first day I was asleep almost the whole day, other than going to pick up the kids from school and dropping them off in the morning and picking them up in the afternoon, and then I'll just go back to bed. And then a time came where I said, I have 4 days. I don't know what to do with these 4 days. So what am I going to do? So I started looking I said, I'm going to read. I'm going to go back to school to do something. So I'm someone who had always been attracted by marketing. So I was like, okay, hey George, thank you so much for coming. That's my new friend. We've been following each other if you don't have George, George, please follow him today. He's a very supportive guy. So so I started doing, I did a course which was just like an introduction to digital marketing. Like, fine. And then we were told we have to do a project, each one of us, so about the social media. So it was going to mirror the analytics and everything. So I decided to do YouTube. So it's like, I consume a lot of YouTube. I see these guys. These guys back at home who are doing YouTube. There's these guys here who are doing YouTube, blah, blah, blah. So I think it is more attractive just than an Instagram post or TikTok or whatever. It's more meaty. It's meatier. So I said, okay, fine, I'll do that. So I'll do that project. And if you go, I've not deleted that video. My first video is me shaving my hair, a DIY cut. It's awful. The worst videos I've ever done, but it's still there. So I do that video, and then I go to school, and my teacher tells me it's an awful video. I don't know why but it's like, but it will serve the purpose. Then I start seeing people. He told me, give it 3 days and we see what happens. And then I started seeing people actually watching the video. I've not told anyone that I have a video of, So I go back. So we start working on those analytics, and then I come back and said, I'll do one. I start cooking. Because I consider myself like I can cook a bit, blah, blah. So I started cooking. So I cook, and then I got tired of cooking. I said, what else? The weather is nice now. So what do I do? So I sat down, brainstormed, and I'm like, I've lived in Manchester.
Are these the videos?
These are the ones. Yeah, these are the ones. You can learn something there, Goga.
I guess it's amazing. Oh, sorry, don't worry about that. I guess it's another supporting your playlist.
So the weather is becoming better, and then I decide I've lived here for a while now, but I don't know anything about Manchester, because since I came, it's been working home, work home, kids, work home, family, work home, family. Yeah. So I was like, maybe these days that I have, I could actually go and do some stuff. So I took my phone, because I didn't have anything else. And if you see my initial videos, they're very shaky because it was a phone that I was using, and the image was not very stable. So I said, I'll do them just like that. People want to watch them, let them watch them. If they don't, fine. So I didn't know anything about thresholds of 1,000 and 4,000 hours, and I was just shooting videos and just going. And I suffered for
Yeah.
the first 6, 7 months. I didn't know
Mm.
you guys exist, nothing. But anyways, I kept on pushing. And then one day I did like a couple videos or three of them. I was like, you know what, this is nice. Because I'm getting to
Yeah.
discover all these places and I just sit here. I don't know where I live. So I'll keep on. So I said, many people, when they go to these places, what do they show? They show the big cities and blah, blah, blah. What do I want to
Yeah.
show? Hajways, I want to show that which people don't show. So I want to show the neighborhoods.
Mm.
So I started walking in the neighborhoods. And I swear, I think many people have not seen guys walking around with in the neighborhoods recording. I do that. And
Yeah.
people look at me at times and times they're like, why are you doing that? I was like, oh, I just fancy it. And I just get to discover places, so, and I document my walks. So, if you want to see the places that I've visited, some of them might be a discovery as well for you. You can discover them through my lens. And it keeps on going. And at times, at the beginning, you're a bit shy. You fear that people are going to tell you this or that, but you just keep on going. But yeah, the decision to jump into YouTube was basically because I started it accidentally, and then it became serious, and then I started cooking. But then I said, I'm not a professional chef. Let's be very truthful. I know how to cook. I can cook quite a bit because I have a background in hotels and everything.
Of course. Yeah.
But it's not me. So I said I'll just keep on walking and showing all these people and these beautiful places that exist. If I come across a place that is not so nice, I'll pull the camera and just record it as well, and show the people what's there. I used to edit my videos a lot at the beginning because I used to do very long videos, and then but nowadays I don't. It's almost I would say 99% of what you see is what of my camera has captured out there, me walking, and that's it. So yeah, it's been a beautiful experience. I've discovered places, and now I'm glad because people who have lived here in Manchester now are telling me that actually we didn't know that these places exist.
Amazing.
And I've got probably about 40, no, more than 40. Actually, it could be above 60 now of my audience is from the United Kingdom. So that tells you something that they're actually following it. And hopefully it grows and, it can take us places. But in the meantime, I'm not killing myself. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on me. But I just want to enjoy it. And I think that's the best thing to do. If success comes after 2 or 3 or 5 years, let it be. But when it comes, let it come, like properly. I just want to live and to enjoy this experience at the moment as to the best of my capabilities.
I like that, and I like how this this first video, there's just something about the your first video, and you never delete it, because my first video was an experiment.
Someone told me to delete it. I told them no ways.
No, you don't, because it helps you appreciate where you've come from, and it's like and I'm sure, and that was going to be even my next question, like what made you keep uploading, like what is that drive that kept you? And you probably even as you kept on uploading videos, you probably noticed that something was changing. Either you are getting better at like arranging the story, either you are getting better at like putting some transition in there. It's like, oh wow, I can actually add this on the video. So there's always like something about learning every time you upload, time you upload. So what is it that kept you going to keep uploading? I like this video of and Ifeanyi was asking why did you shave? That was the first question he asked, because I like how you have very long hair in these old videos, like it's 1 year ago, because you started your channel like over 1 year ago. So those are like very good observations.
That time I didn't have time to go to the barbershop. That is what I feel. And then one day I just got mad at myself, and I was like, okay, so, and then we had that opportunity. Perfect. I had that when I just bought my new hair clippers, so I just got hold of them and said, okay, there you go, and that's content for my classwork. But I think initially when you start, I don't know for some people, but when you start YouTube,
Mm.
Um, the best way to do is just to enjoy it, yeah, so that it gives you the morale to keep on posting and stuff. But the beauty is in the discovery. So the path
Mm.
towards on or during your growth, as you discover new things, like you said, oh, this transition. So this one here, I've got this other software and this other one that I can use. Oh, so this is how I can add music, and
Yeah.
I've got my nephew. You know my intro
Yes.
in all my videos. So I was struggling with it, and then I just told him one day, are you able to do? I really have to thank him. I've told him already, and that one I think I'll keep it for as long as I can. He made that intro for me. He sent me two of them in just like 3 days. I told him, do you think I want to make an intro? And I've seen you've made one here and there, but can you help me do it? He said, yeah, I can. Let me just do something. He just did two and sent to me. I told him, game done. This is it. I just picked the one that was like a 6-second clip, and that's it. And people have told me they love it, So you start learning all these things. And even now that we are here, and after uploading like hundreds of videos, we still learn every day. I still go back to those softwares and try to click here and there to start to try to learn and see what this can do, what this other one can do, and all that. Because to be fair, one, these softwares keep on changing every day because they're improving, because otherwise they'll be left behind. I think this StreamYard is going to change very soon as well.
Absolutely, it is.
I think, I don't know what has happened behind the scenes. Something is happening, so something new is cooking. But they have competitors as well. So as a YouTuber, it is the same thing. You devise a product and you start learning how to make it better, but also some people out there are becoming your competitors because they're coming into the game. So you have to smart up. And I think now that is an adventure that many people love in this YT streets, becoming better at it. So it's like you keep on challenging yourself to give more and more and more. And it sort of becomes addictive. If I don't upload a video for 3 days, even if I do, my God, it gets on me. I'm like, even like tonight, I have to edit a video. It's done actually. It's just adding a few bits and uploading it, and that's it. But because I've given myself that duty to make sure that I do at least 2 or 3 videos a week. Give each video a period of time to mature. So YouTube is pushing that video. We might not see the results now, but eventually they will come, because there are millions of videos on YT that people are watching. So not necessarily our videos, but as we keep on growing our channels with more and more videos, then these things are going to happen naturally. It's not a game of, I mean, we have to do the right things, but it's not a thing of, you have to do, I think we have to do things, how do I say? No, we have to make huge mistakes for this not to work for us. Because I think we are working very hard, all of us. And now I want to say,
I like what Covaction is telling you there. Let me just highlight it for you. Covaction is on their side, says, we feel your Hajways. Our full-time job slow us down with YT.
Oh, yes,
just
they do.
Just trying to resonate.
Covaction, we've known each other, I think. Well, I followed him a few weeks ago, and we've known each other officially yesterday.
Yeah.
So welcome, and he's here. You see, so this is what I was going to say about community. Here now that we have, you said Goga tribe. So there's many Goga tribes out there, isn't it?
Absolutely.
There's all these babies and stuff. We come from many people. We come from the Imeldas. We come from Gogas. We come from so many people.
Yeah.
Please, and I'm going to urge you, if we want to make a difference to ourselves, or if we want to do ourselves a favor in this, because we're still growing, support each other. But if somebody does not visit your channel for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and you're like, oh, this person actually used to come here all the time, why? Don't say, oh, they don't visit me anymore, so I'm done with them. That's a mistake. Why? Because just like you're busy trying to visit 100 people, you have forgotten a few people on the way yourself.
That's true.
But that day that it dawns on you that, oh, Goga, I've not seen Goga on my channel for the last 3-4 weeks or 2 months. Let me check up on him, what is happening to him. You can do it. You can do him a favor. Drop a comment, go to one of his videos, share his video. How about that? Because if you have Goga tribe, you have Ifeanyi Cool's tribe, you have Priscilla tribe, you have Hajways tribe, you have Good Vibes K, we have Winsome, we have Nan's house, we have Anne Moura, we have, I don't know, the list is that long. How many subscribers do we have, each one of us? I know it is impossible for us to share each and every video, but when you have a chance to do that, do it, and you're doing a favor to your community space. And that's what I'm discovering, because this game of the internet is based on search engine optimization. Okay, so the more variety you have in your community space, the more people you reach automatically, because they will come into your community space first before they even click on that video and go somewhere. So they get to know Hajways. They discover Hajways because Hajways posted or shared a video of Goga.
Yeah.
And these are called backlinks. They're coming. So they will help us a long way. So do not shy away to share somebody's video because you think you're benefiting them. No, think that you're benefiting yourself as well, because these people also will reciprocate at some point. And if someone does not come to you after some period of time, go check up on them and say, I know I'm the first one that people have not visited. And every time I remember, I go and click on their channel and see what's happening. And some that have not posted, I take the trouble to ask them, is everything okay? They feel valued, and it is genuine, because we are here to help each other. We are a community. So that one, and my YouTube journey will continue, Goga, until that day.
I love that. And the next thing I was going to ask you was something to do with how you curate the content, because you take us around different parts. And you're also very busy because your work demands that you be busy. So how do you curate like the places you're going to visit? Is it normally driven as a result of work, or do you normally just create some time to like take us on those particular trips?
So at the beginning, I used to plan where to go. Like I would have a plan, like a week, then I choose the places that I want to go. But mostly there will be places that I've passed by and I've seen and I've said, this looks like a nice place, so I want to go and see it and stuff. Hey, Big Harry, I see you as well. Thank you so much for coming. But now I like being spontaneous, because I go with my camera and I know that the weekend I'm going to do these things anyway. So I wake up, get the car and say, okay, fine. So I'm going to this neighborhood. There's this place called, I don't know, whatever name. Yeah. I just go there, park the car somewhere and start walking around. Or it could be a place where I've passed by in the past. And I know I saw something interesting, or, that caught my eye. And I just go back because of just one thing, and then I start exploring the neighborhood. But right now, most of them are because I want to discover these places, and I would rather go to these places that I don't know completely. and just discover them, because the impact, I'm telling you, the impact when you walk into these places and you've got a good surprise or bad surprise, whatever, that emotion, the emotions and the impact when you're recording is, you could even keep quiet and just go on. You're looking at it and you're just digesting everything, and then when you come, you can
Yeah.
put the voice over. But it's very nice. It's very
Can
rewarding.
imagine.
Yeah.
Kavakshan is asking you what software you use to edit. He says he uses like DaVinci Resolve.
I know. I use CapCut.
Okay, CapCut.
Yeah,
CapCut
very
too.
basic. Yeah, I use CapCut.
Okay, I think you've been
Yeah.
answered. Do you see, in terms of just the when it comes to the channel, are you going to stick to these trips that you take us to, or are you? I don't know whether you managed to finish the market, because if you say your channel started as an experiment for the digital marketing class,
Yeah.
did you transition from the experiment?
No.
now?
Because what happened is, immediately after I finished that course, I got this opportunity for a new job. So I was working nights and I was just becoming miserable, and
Yeah.
I had this now YouTube, but it was a lot of work. So I was not, that balance, I was not finding it. So I said, I think for the sake of my health, I need to change jobs. So I took on a day job, and then I could not go back to school because that course that I was taking, I had to go there physically. It's not something I could do online. So I ended up stopping. But that little knowledge that I got from there, I'm still using it. And it opened my eyes a bit in some few things. I didn't get enough time to learn some of these things that I actually really want to learn, but I'm picking up bits from the World Wide Web, just to learn bits here and there. And I think with time, I should get better.
And I love the fact that at least, by you making content here, you also just actually, the learning is actually alive and well. And, you're actively pursuing those tips and everything, which takes me now to the final bit. Sorry, I interrupted that.
Yeah, and I was saying that, and hopefully, in that adventurous spirit where I said I'm learning how to do the videos, to do this, to do that, but I'm also getting to discover new places every time I go, and I want to make sure that within a specific period of time, those experiences now can go global. I can travel. I can start traveling around the world. So that's
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh, that's good. And I think you literally took the words off my mouth, because I was going to ask you, where do you see the channel as you go in the future? The channel has a very beautiful logo. I don't know what inspired this logo, because it stands out. I love the yellow and black, and then I like the H. Why did you call it Hajways? Because I was just trying to wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
Hajways.
So everybody in my family calls me Haj.
Okay.
And that name was given to me. My name is totally different. It's longer.
Totally.
So it's like an abbreviation. And even one of the letters changes. But my elder brother, who I don't know if he's watching me, he's the one who started calling me Haj, and everybody else, by extension, the family started calling me Haj. I used to be known as the Omega mutation. I don't know why. But by then, I think, Goga, you're very young. So there was, but I think maybe you've heard about it. So there was this program on the radio where people would say hi to each other. So you send a card, a greetings card, to the radio station, and they read it loud and your name and everything. Okay? So you are saying hi to people you don't know. That was the YouTube then. That was the social media. Actually, now that I'm thinking. Because we're giving ourselves shout-outs all the time, isn't it? So it's used like this is a station, so we have those greeting cards, and we're just greeting everyone that has sent out a card. And the other half, welcome. Welcome, Lori. Welcome. Thanks for coming. So my elder brother got me into that that habit. So he used to buy cards himself.
Yeah.
He's the one who's spending the money, buy cards from KBC, Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, and we used to fill in. Yeah, we fill in, and then we say, you say your name. So my name was the Omega Mutation Haj Ken, blah blah. So from Haj, then it came and it became my name. And with time, when I was here, I started doing things on YouTube, and I was like, so what do I call it? I'm Haj, and I'm doing things my way, so it's gonna be Hajways.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's very creative. I love it.
And, yeah.
Hajways, my way.
And there's this, and there's that singer. You might. Do you know that song, Stella?
Yeah, by Mamburi. Mamburi is from your home area anyway, right?
Yeah, he's my uncle.
Wait.
He's.
No way.
Yeah.
No.
When he wrote
Stella
that
came
song,
back, it was just.
Yeah,
it was just 2 days ago.
Yeah, he came back. So listen to me. When he wrote that song, we were living under the same roof. There was Stella.
So I'm going to ask you.
And the other one, Mtongwe Ferry. If you listen, if you know my names properly, if you listen to that song, especially the one of Mtongwe Ferry, he mentions all of us, my brothers and I as well.
Awesome.
We were living in
the question. Now that you're the closest thing next to Freshly Mwamburi, is that story true? Did the Stella?
It is true.
Are you serious? And I like how he captured the entire story, because that's exactly what happened. People like changad money for you to go to Spain. That community spirit is really captured it very nicely.
Exactly. So yeah, things happen.
Okay, we'll discuss this behind the tent. We don't. Freshly is a very respected. Is a very respected veteran. I will ask the receipts on the side.
On the side.
Wow. I'm impressed. Yeah. I'm impressed. Wow.
Yeah. So he was all the time, Haji, all the time. So yeah, it became a name, and it was when I saw that, I was like, yeah, and then my nephew who made. If you notice, that logo is the same intro that I have. It's the image on the intro in my videos.
Let me just see.
So when he.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah. So the logo is the same image that is in my intro, the music at the beginning of each video and at the end of the videos. So he's the one. I told him, just capture the essence of this thing. So he sent this one, and I do like the way the black and the yellow combine.
It is a beautiful blend.
Yeah. So I said, you know what? I'm just keeping it just like this. He's blessed it. I'm blessing it as well.
Amen to that. I love it. Kenyans are getting excited because of your uncle. But anyway, behave, guys. We'll discuss this. We'll discuss this behind the tent when the guests have left. We'll discuss this behind the tent, because now it is 17th, or just the day before yesterday. So yeah, it's already passed.
Yeah, she came back.
And I see all these amazing people, guys. If you've not connected to Hajways, please click on the pinned link, jump on the other side, and then please go and support this amazing creator, just to be able to appreciate this beautiful content. I'm getting towards the tail end of my conversation with him.
Yeah, sorry to cut you short. I'm actually actively campaigning for the 2K now. I'm just there, but it is becoming, oh God. It's taken weeks to get numbers.
Wait, can you take a moment? That's good. That's a good commercial break. Can you say it? Campaign for yourself.
So I'm actively campaigning for my 2K threshold. So, or what do you call it? My 2K. Well, let's call it an achievement. 2K subscribers. Yeah, I've really, really worked hard, but it's not going anywhere. It's just stuck there. But anyways, we are just around I think 170 to the 2K. So hopefully we will come back here, and when you know that when I got to the 1K, I did not celebrate.
You did not actually. You moved on and you
No,
started looking for WH.
no,
It was
yeah,
crazy.
no, because I was focused on that WH thing. It was really making me crazy. And then when I got there, I said I have to make sure that everything is set. But I want to celebrate when I get to the 2K, and when I get to the 2K, we throw a bash. That's how weird I am.
And don't worry, we'll throw the bash. We'll throw the bash
Yeah,
for
but
sure.
that would give me the zeal to continue with the same fight that I had before. That was the thinking behind it. If I just consider that everything is done now because I've gotten to the 1K, I've gotten the 4K, and then I could actually relax. And I was like, no, I want to continue with the same until the 2K. So I'm still there. You see me trying to be all over the place, though at times I can't.
Yeah, I know, and I like what you said that there's something very powerful you said at some point in the conversation about how you want to enjoy YouTube, and if that comes at the extent of your mental space, you know how to take a step back, and you have to be very deliberate about it. I like that was a very powerful thing, because most of us sometimes I think we don't know how to separate ourselves from that space, and then it becomes like this heavy burden, a box that you have to tick, and then at some point you almost give up because it's just like too much work all of a sudden.
Oh yes, no.
So I'm glad
to find the balance. Yeah.
I'm glad you say that you find the balance. I'm on my final questions, and really it's just I'm about to just wrap up. And I like what Kovaction says.
3 hours today, Goga. 3 hours.
3 hours. 3 hours. I think you're one of the longest, because we always end at like 2 hours, and you said we're only going to be here for 1 hour, and
that's what
the conversation that you're very interesting, because the conversation just keeps flowing, and I like how there's no script. It just it's amazing. It's amazing how you're just sharing this particular story, and it's nice. My final questions are really just on: do you intend to return back home, or you just going to find I don't know, home is now where you are, or and I know you make a concerted effort to come and at least connect with the family. How is what are those plans? What are those plans looking like? And I know the kids are now getting, of course, into high school. They're also growing, so they're going to be in university shortly. What does that look like? And
so, first of all, thank you again, Jerry Kimani.
Hey, Jerry's spoiling us. Yes.
Hey, she's spoiling me today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sis.
Let me give our water again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So plans for future is, when I tell my daughters at times, they're mad at me, but I told them, when they're done and they can go to the university and stuff, they can stand for themselves.
Yeah.
They will still need us, but not as much as they do need us now. And if I'm to be very sincere, I think if it were not for my kids, with or without money, I've had enough.
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah, with or without money. I don't care.
No, just hold that thought, because Dida Safari, who is watching us, he said the exact same thing on the where you're seated, because when you're discussing with him about his experience in Kuwait, he talked about the job, the money, but at the end of the day, he's actually, home is where his heart is, regardless.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Home is always home. Where I think there's something very strong, and it is in our cultures and all that. But I do think that we are connected to where we are from. Everybody in this world. Because I don't know, but maybe what I'm going to say is rubbish, yeah? But when you're born, your umbilical cord is buried somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's the first connection that you have actually with the earth and with that place where that thing was buried. So I think, I don't know, it's just a feeling I have. It could be the truth, it could not be, it could just be because that's where you're born and you have all these experiences and they keep on calling you. But I think each and every human being has a special connection to where they cometh from.
That's true. That's true.
To be able to be 100% happy, money is not the answer, but your origins are. So, given the chance tomorrow, even if I only had 1,000 or 500 pounds in my pocket, I would go back home. And I know for sure that if you watch that video that we did, guys, if you've not watched that video that I did with Chef Matiko, it's in my channel.
Yes, pull it up.
If you know Chef Matiko, it's conversations with two village boys. We called it something like that. We spoke about many things, but there is something very important that happens when you go to a different environment that is not the one that you're used to or that you know. So if I don't know, if you're from the experiences that you have in New York are not the same experiences that you would have in Florida or in Washington DC. They're gonna be different. People
Is
that
this is the one.
Yeah, magical, must watch that one. So the experiences that you have in Kisumu are not going to be the same experiences that you have in Nairobi or in Maputo and Johannesburg. They're totally different. What you see in the streets and as you mingle with people day by day, you actually learn from these experiences. What you see that is happening around is education in itself. So I think we've amassed a lot of knowledge naturally by seeing something different and different ways of doing things, to an extent that I'm very comfortable that even if I did not have money and I went back to my village tomorrow, I'll never die a hungry man. And I'll build myself a house, even if it's a mud house, and it's going to be very well maintained. But it's going to be very beautiful, and I'm going to be eating 100% organic. That one I know.
That's true.
I won't be eating this chicken that has been fed with I don't know what, but we have to eat it because it's what we have. Yeah, in Spain we had, here they have, but you have to go and look for it. I don't know where. They call it hard chicken. Like the village chicken. They call it hard chicken. You have to cook it. Yeah, kienyeji. You have to cook it for hours. In Spain they had plenty of it everywhere. You could get it. But here we don't. But they have different things, and there are things that they do differently that I'm seeing and I'm learning. In Spain, the same way. But also, there's things that I saw that were done differently when I came to Nairobi the first time. And all these experiences, if I went back to my village, I'm sure I'll be able to make a massive difference, and my life will never be the same. You understand? So that is why I'm not worried. I don't fear. If it had to happen tomorrow, I'll go happy. But
I love that.
Right now, I have the duty of making sure that my kids get to that space that I want them to get to, and then I want to give them the same opportunity I got when I told my dad, I have a scholarship, I have to go, and he said go. I want them to have the same opportunity. So if they told me they okay, that I'm going to do my uni here in the UK, it's like fine, and I know you can do it. You don't need me.
I like
because
that.
they can work so that they start learning early, and then you help them when it is actually very, very necessary, because they have to learn the difficulties of earning and how to amass all these experiences. at an early age,
Absolutely.
because that's going to make them totally different.
I love that. And Rebecca Mle Prince, who is watching in the UK, our Congolese sister, is really excited about
Yes.
that. Yeah, that statement, because she's like, "Hey, yes, say it louder." And even Service Out Kitchen is also these are Jamaican.
I saw what's her name? She's a big YouTuber now. She was in Kenya. She went to Jamaica the other day. Sean Arwa, she's called. So I follow her. So I saw a video of her in, I think it was in Dubai. So she was buying something, and she had a conversation, and she was having a conversation with this lady who was selling in that shop, and that lady used to live in Sweden and one of the Scandinavian countries. And Sean Arrow was asking, "Are you going back?" She said, "No, she's not going." Because she feels like she finds herself better where she is now.
Amazing.
She's surrounded by people who she thinks she's more comfortable with. Not because those other people she was not comfortable but because she does not. That feeling was not there. So it is important to find, like, if I found myself here, for example, and I said I'm comfortable 100%, blah blah blah, but you're not complete without your family. So it is very important, and especially for us Africans, I think it is very important. And our motherland is, I think motherland, that Africa motherland. When they say it is a cradle of human being, from Olduvai Gorge, I think it has a very special connection with every human being.
Yes.
If you speak to tourists who go to Kenya, they always want to go back. Now, we, at some point, we thought that, that is not, when, the best stuff is out there. We came here now, we are thinking, actually not. I think back at home is best. But, of course, alive to the reality that, man eateth where he worketh.
Of course. It's a very great self-awareness as well, because at the end of the day
I did try to get a job, but of course I had a threshold. When I was coming back at home during those holidays, I was talking to people. I was like, I can help here and here, and I can open markets here and there, blah blah blah. It never happened. So but then here I got other opportunities. So when that time comes, which for me, I've told you already, if my kids tell me in 5 years, they tell me, "Daddy, why don't we go back?" I'll tell them, "Let's back tomorrow."
And I like how you're alive to the possibility that question may be asked.
No, they love Africa. They love Kenya.
Amazing.
Yeah, they love Kenya. I wouldn't be surprised.
You're doing an amazing job as a dad. Trying to remind them. You have two beautiful questions from Covaction that I want you to just answer them in twin form. Covaction is asking you, how long does each minute of a video take you to edit? I think Covaction is just wondering whether he's very slow in editing. So because you also edit videos at night, we just want, I think, to understand how long it takes you to edit.
If I'm to pay attention to each and every detail, I think, so what happens is at the beginning you spend more time, and then because also when you're recording at the beginning, you're not alive to the fact that you have to go and edit, so you're just recording everything that you see, and then when you go home, you have to sit down and start cutting down those things. So you have a 1 hour video. If you've realized, I'd cut down my videos to between 15 and 20 minutes, max 25, because I just have a feeling that people are not watching the 30+ minute videos. They just watch, because you can see it in your statistics. You can see. So why put up with editing or doing a video for 30 minutes when on that 30 minutes I can actually put up 2 videos? So I do 15 or 20, and that's it. So when recording, first of all, you have to that you have to be alive to the fact that you're going to edit. So do not record unnecessary things, so that when you go back, you already have almost a complete clip. And if you've recorded like mini clips, the only thing is you have to download them and just put them together. And then from there on, now do your transitions, blah blah blah. Put all the elements that you want to put, like the subscribe buttons here and there, blah blah blah, and that's it. But now I could say, if what I do is I record the video, I come and watch the whole footage, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then I go back, and after that,
That's
I know exactly what I want to remove. So I'll go back and just go to the minutes. I just write down which minutes, and then I just go back and remove what I have to remove, and that's it. So I could just editing the video could only take probably around 20 to 30 minutes max. 20 to 30 minutes.
And I like the fact that you are always very, I think, deliberate when you are shooting, because and I like the fact that you said you called me out there. When you start shooting a video, you never imagine that you have to edit. So that is very powerful, because if you're more deliberate, then you'll know that this is content. So you're going to be very careful to make sure that you save the time that you'll use to edit as much as possible. So I like how you do that.
Yeah, because you have to edit the video, you have to write your descriptions, you have to optimize your video, so you have to do all the optimization work, and it's not easy. That's where probably I spend more time. And then of course you have to do your thumbnail. So the thumbnail takes a bit more time, though I've changed my style a bit. If you can tell from my previous thumbnails and the ones I'm doing now, I've just been trying something to see if it works. If not, I might have to make another change, because this is a journey.
It's a journey, and I like how you keep learning. And actually, there's a difference. I will still say you are not the same person you are when you are doing. Let's say, let me pick the oldest. When you are doing this.
Which one do you?
For sure.
That's what happens. That's what happens in this YouTube journey. You start and you can see the way you've grown. And these ones here, these were the first thumbnails. I did them. It's not actually a thumb. I cut that image from the video itself.
From the video, the suggested one.
Yeah. No, not the suggested one. I was using InShot, I think.
Yeah.
So I clipped something there, just a screenshot, and then worked on it. And then I came back and changed a few, but like that yellow one with the green drums, it's awful. But I've never changed it. I was thinking the other day, maybe I should.
It looks nice though. I mean, cooking green. But hey, you tried. Maka, you tried cooking.
Yeah. Good.
There's definitely a difference, because I was watching this video of yours in Madrid the other day, because I was like, oh, this video is I just wanted to see what you are doing at the mall and everything. But yes, you can. I can see the experiment.
Yeah. So I'm changing things. Yeah, and try to see here. So my friend, that's me. I don't know if you have any more questions. Feel free.
You have I've opened the panel now to anybody who has any question, guys, before we release him. This man has been with me for 3 hours. 3 hours. He only said, go guy, we do this for 1 hour and a half. An extra 1.5 hours later, we are still here.
I was so exhausted. I didn't think I was going to be able to do even like 1 full hour. I have to be very sincere.
You did it, and
it was not me. It was not me the whole since yesterday up to today. But anyways, things happened, and
I'm glad. And I'm glad the energy allowed, and the vibrations were just perfect. And you've done amazing. I think I've never interviewed like 1 hour for anyone for like 3 hours straight. It always ends at about 1 hour, and then now you start noise making and everything.
Yeah.
This we've just been talking, it's been flowing the entire time. So you have a beautiful question here again from Covaction, and Covaction is asking, what is your favorite travel destination so far?
I've not gone many places because I've shown Manchester as much because that's where I live, and then I've been to Madrid. My brother lives there, so I go to visit him at times, and I pull the camera and do some recording. But it's a city that I know and it's beautiful. However, I would love to go to Spain to do Barcelona because I think it is very special.
Nice.
For me, I've been to Barcelona like 7 times, and I've walked the entire city as well. How I wish that I was doing YouTube then.
I know.
Yeah, but things happen when they have to, and it's a beautiful city. Not for me, not to live there, but for YouTuber, I think it's it's a beautiful place. I would love to go there, and then most likely I'd love to go to Rome, Italy as well, and do do the Vatican as well.
And Sophie is watching you from Switzerland, and she's from Jamaica, and she's just enjoying the conversation around Barcelona, and Lori who is Lori also. Sorry, just carry on. Sorry.
Saying they have beautiful stuff there. All they they call it arte, Gaudi art. Is just on another level. And then they've got a beautiful park there in the mountains called Park Güell. Outstanding. But also they have the Sagrada Familia, which is classified officially from today as one of the world wonders. La Sagrada Familia. I'm saying myself. I classify it if they haven't. I don't know if it's in the new. I don't know if it's in the new Wonders of the World or not. But anyways, go Google this La Sagrada Familia. It's a beautiful piece of architecture.
Actually, I had to check. I had to check it out because you're giving it like a very glowing recommendation. I'm actually interested. Island Sisters, nice to see you there. Island Sisters, nice to see you. Is there any question that anybody else has for Haji as he collects his thoughts?
Oh, whose hubby is here? Hey, my friend, how are you, boss? Hey, thanks for coming. Bro. How's Jamaica? He's traveling now. This is also one of my friends whose hubby. If you can pin him, I can't pin him actually. Let me see.
Can you? Is it? Let me just see.
Oh no, I can't pin him. You can pin him yourself.
No, don't try. I'll do it for you. Yeah. Herbie is here. I just know Herbie, and you're the one who introduced me to Herbie because don't let me not say these travel plans here. But yes, you introduced me to Herbie, and we spoke on Instagram. Nice guy. I've been following his content, and I like his. You and him, I think you almost have the same way and style of profiling places.
And that's how we do. That's how magically we knew each other. We knew each other over Instagram. So and we were all struggling for the 1K subscribers. So we were living the same the same kind of journey, same experiences, and now here we are. So lovely. Just EK. How are you? Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Helen Kat, less incentive. Thank you guys. Ask Menza. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I think, or I do hope that I've not been a boredom to.
No. And no, it's been you did have been here for 3 hours. Hajways. Had you been a boring guest? The Sunday service. You would have known if you're boring. You would have known. You don't keep over 30 people between the two of our channels for 3 hours, because that number has stayed very stable. Somebody would ask you, "Hey, Les, how you doing?" Somebody would ask, now that you live in Manchester, Sasa, which team do you support in the The English Premier League and stuff.
So this is the funniest thing.
Asking for a friend.
So this is the funniest thing. I love playing basketball, though I've not played for a while. But I played basketball since high school and stuff, and even when I was in Spain and you know. But when I was in Spain, I used to. I never missed a match. I used to watch the matches every now and then. You know.
You mean the English Premier League matches?
No, the Spanish league.
Yeah.
And the
Okay.
English ones, whenever there's a good game, I would try to follow that game and watch it and whatever, rewatch and stuff like that. But since I came to the UK, I work behind the stadium. I told Anna Maura the other day.
Yeah.
I took it to her. I'll send another one to EK after this because I know he's a Man U fan. I see that stadium every day when I take my break. I just go because it's just right across the canal. So we have what we call the South Canal. You must have seen it in my. If you've not watched the videos of Salford that I'm talking about, you should watch the video on the Salford Ship Canal and the videos in showcasing Media City. It's a beautiful, beautiful place, and in that area is where that stadium is, the Old Trafford. So when I'm sat at lunch like now, when it's sunny, I sit across the canal and I have it like meters away from me. I just have to cross the waters and it's the Old Trafford. Literally 10 minutes walk.
Do people at home?
I've done a video of the Trafford Park and the Old Trafford. I'm just waiting to see if I can go and do now a tour of the stadium itself inside. But I'm going to do the Etihad and that one, yeah. But I'm not. Since I came here, I'm not. I don't follow football that much. At times I don't even know that who's playing. People just tell me, "Oh, this guy's playing." I was like, "Oh, good." I don't follow football that much. Yeah.
I love that, and it was important for me to ask that question because you know how people back at home are like obsessed with the English Premier
Crazy,
League.
yeah. People are crazy about the EPL.
Yeah, so you can imagine. I mean, guys, it's just bragging here, like, oh, guys, the Old Trafford is just outside my house. I just need to cross the canal. As in, do people at home, when you speak to your relatives back at home who are fans of Man U, do they like know the gravity of where their son is located? Like,
no, Man U fans are they're good lads. Just like the Manchester City ones, they're good lads. Nothing really happens major. I've never seen a scuffle or anything after a game or stuff. I think stuff used to happen.
Unlike some people,
but nowadays,
unlike some people we know.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Let me not put. There's some people are going to get. They're going to start calling each other like Goga is like bad mouthing our team. We've not mentioned anything. We just talked about Manchester because he lives in Manchester. The stadium is literally behind. Not very far from him.
I don't follow any. If they play, I try to watch that game, but I'm not a strong follower of any of them, and that is true from the bottom of my heart.
Oh my goodness, I like how you're very politically correct, and
no, but it is true. No, it's very true. If there's any team that I support and I would love to watch all their games, is Real Madrid.
Oh, of course.
I rest it there.
Yeah, he lived in Spain for a while, so he's kind of Yeah, he's likely to support the Spanish league more than the English thingy.
But if
anyway,
it's a good game here in the UK, I watch it. I love it.
Bannings.
So,
sorry, Hajways, I missed what you said. You broke off a bit.
I don't know. I was saying I don't know if there's anything else. We are stressed. We need to go everywhere. Come on. Lori's
talking about focusing on vlogging.
EK has said I'm fired because I'm not Man U fan. Don't worry, EK. I'm going to send you a picture right now. I don't hate it. I love it, but I'm just not a fan. I'm just like I'm not a fan of Manchester City or Arsenal or any of them. You know.
Island sisters, Island sisters, they're watching you from the UK. They're also from Jamaica, and
Yeah. Island
you probably
sisters, how are you?
yeah. So
Yeah. Thank
yeah,
you for coming.
we love your honesty, Hajways. You have a question. You have a question that is very sensitive from Jerry Kimani and Dida. These are my trouble twins at the Sunday service.
Yeah.
So Dida Safari and Jerry Kimani, they want you to just confirm that you met your wife at the choir where you used to sing.
I knew someone was, it was.
Let me tell you, I told you this. These people, forget about even the CIA. The tribe will dig. They will find.
No,
they will ask.
I'll tell you a deeper story. It's nothing to do with the Sunday school or the choir.
That was funny. Dida Safari and Jerry Kimani, that has been settled.
No, but it's even their house was on the way to our farm, which was in the swamp where we had the rice farm.
Oh my! This is that village story now.
Yes, sir. A bit.
So when you're going to your farm, you get derailed by the neighbor's daughter.
Do you know the cashews? What do you call in Swahili? They call them mikanju. They have there's a lot of them in the South Coast. Cashew nuts. Korosho.
I used to have a Taita classmate who used to bring them to us, especially when during when they come back from the holidays.
They have a fruit, isn't it, as well? Kanju.
Mm.
Yeah, and then the korosho is like the last bit that hangs there. In Dida's place, there's many
small thing.
Them they used to meet them when they were going to plant those things. That's makanjus. Dida.
Wait.
It's nice to have a laugh, guys. It makes us look younger and grow healthier.
I know. I had to check.
Don't miss a chance to.
Wait, I'm being told to check a question from Lumiere. Just hold on. Let me see. Lumiere Kambulu, what did she ask? Lumiere is Rebecca. I'm coming with ninjas here. If she wants to ask a question that people don't know who she is, I don't see it. Lumiere, what was the question again? I can't see it. My co-host is also looking for it. You can post it again. We don't see. I've gone like how many messages up? I don't see any question. I just know where he said that she's very proud of Hajways as a father, trying to inculcate those values to his kids. I think that is the one thing I saw. Lumiere, just ask the question again, then I'll be able to spot it. Or if anybody saw it, you can paraphrase it for me. Let me see. Okay. Let me see. I think I didn't get it. Lumiere, you can ask again. You can ask again so that I can.
Are you thinking about collaborating to explore? I found it. Are you thinking about collaborating to explore new London area with one of our UK? Yes, I think that was the question, Lumiere. Yes. So that's a good question. I have a few YouTubers down there. So we have Kenya UK. I know there's Rebecca the Prince. And then there's Good Vibes K. People that we've actually mingled well here.
Nice.
And then there's I Am Avon. Okay, so these people that we've actually mingled with here in the YT streets. My thoughts are to be able to do something with them. Already I was talking to Kenya UK to see if we can do something. UK, yes. Whether he can come. He is a very hardworking brother. He's a very hardworking guy. So, guys, he is working towards his WH. So, and I've never sung, I did work at that time, but he's doing work. He is
Hey,
doing work.
Kenya, UK is busy. Wait, Kenya,
He's
UK is
doing
busy. I
work.
find
So,
these premiers like that
guys,
when I'm at work.
please, yeah, please, I beg you, help this guy. If you can play one day, play his list, or 2 days, please do. Just go and give him a hand. And he's always
Right.
visiting people, and in the premieres and live chats and stuff. He's visiting people always. So I rest my case there, but try to give him a hand. And then my friend
You know,
Habi, who joins us
you know,
today, please do not forget to connect to him as well. He's very, very supportive as well.
one thing, and I'm really looking forward to hosting Habi one of these, a short next month probably. And I like, I like in Kenya, UK, because in Kenya, UK is also very raw in how he captures, the United
Yes.
Kingdom for us. Yeah, there's just something raw about how he explains things, and there's the answer that I will get from the resident, and then there's that answer I want from a Kenyan. Like, explain it now in our language. But yes,
that's very
it's
true.
English, yes, but explain it in a way I can consume it. So I like how you brought that. And I know in Kenya, UK and Rebecca Mleprince, because Rebecca is my channel member, and she told me that there's a planned collaboration that they're planning.
There's a plan, yeah.
Yeah, and I like that aspect of collaboration, especially with the people who are in the UK, and you guys meet, have coffee. I think it will be nice. And Kay, I know he's watching from the bush. Good vibes, Kay, I know he's always watching me from the bush. And then when I'm ready, he should be faster to say, "Okay, Goga, thank you so much. I'm going to see."
We're gonna be looking for
I think it's a very
that one definitely is going to happen. So
yeah, and I think
keep an eye on this.
And I think collaboration. What do you think? I know Lori and Location have been talking about collaboration and how they're trying to collaborate as much as well. What do you think is the significance of collaborations? From where you sit.
So one thing I think about collaborations is, it's not the same thing to watch a video that someone has already shot, as opposed to doing it together with that person. And especially with this type of videos that I do, for example, or Kenya UK does, and all these other people.
Yeah.
But it is also true that some people may end up discovering you through those collaborations. And you could be just lying there and nobody discovers you, and then boom, all of a sudden you've done a collaboration, and someone or some people discover, oh, actually this guy has some good content. Why don't I have a look? And then so it may drive some traffic, but that does not mean that when that traffic is driven through to you, that is the end game. No, that's when you even have to work harder, because achieving something is easy, keeping it is the most difficult task, isn't it? So I think they are important, but without losing that focus that you have from the beginning.
I love that, and and speaking of collaboration, back to Kenya, you can Rebecca Mleprince, because when Rebecca Mleprince was telling me, Goga, did Kenya UK come to the Sunday service? I told him that you normally have the Sunday service, and Kenya UK was asking, which church is that? It's like that. So Kenya UK's discovery of the Sunday service is one of the funniest stories I've ever had, because Kenya UK was asking which church is that? Like, who is the pastor?
The one across the corner.
Just so funny. And the power of also collaboration, and also saying that never let it stop at where you are. I guess yesterday when I was preparing for this live stream with Hajways, when we were just about to finish our inception call, the first thing is like, Goga, so this raid thing, let me set up the raid. I was so impressed. I was so impressed, because you're already thinking ahead. It's like, okay, when you're about to end the interview, you'll be setting up, can I set up the raid real quick? And in no time he had set it up. So that is one thing I also just discovered as a result of also collaboration. And I like how
Yeah.
the community has embraced it, and the raid is like now a thing that it's a way of also like passing the torch forward and helping us support the next person to get their milestone. So just a few thoughts I will give on that particular example. Eunice Ministry TV says nimefurahi sana kuwepo hapa, nimejifunza mambo mengi sana. Hey, why are you appealing to Hajways Taita roots? the Swahili. Yeah, so okay. I think that's it. Let me see whether I've missed anything. Welcome Marlon. Welcome. I think I've seen everyone else. Ike, I think I'd already said hi to Ike before the Arsenal question, and then sisters, everybody else laughing and so on. At which service? Yeah, in case cases, I was wondering which service. That's a good one. Is there any other burning question, guys, anybody may have? Otherwise, I need to give the man a chance to sign off, because he's been with me for over 3 hours. It's been very long. It's been very long. And JD, thank you so much for the update on Helen's situation. Appreciate that. I want to just give him a chance also just to also wrap up in case there's anything he feels that he wanted to say and he has not said, because I know he had put his thoughts down so that he can say that, and then we'll give him a chance at least to promote his channel, and then we'll be able to release the man. I can hear the kids are like, Daddy, are you done? Daddy, are you done? I can hear the kids outside there in the office. So yeah, so your beautiful compliments streaming in. I'll be highlighting them as we go. At Hajways, this was great. I have known more of you. Blessings, but mimi ni shemeji. Kenyans start compliments and then they have to put some disclaimer just there. Hey.
So asante shemeji.
And then less incentive with
thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, and guys, once again, before I give Hajways a chance to speak, because he may be, and I don't want to interrupt him, is if you're not connected to him, click on the pinned link. It will take you directly to his live stream. It's also happening there. You can stay there for a while. Actually, stay on his live stream until he ends his live stream on the other side. It will throw you back here. It will automatically send you guys back here, and then we can end the show. So Hajways, in case you have anything that you feel like maybe we didn't capture from your side, you can talk about it now before we release you.
No, I think we've covered quite enough. And well, it was the first, or it is, because we've not ended it. It's still the first one, and I think so far we've done well. I hope to be able to have most of these in the future, where we can discuss other things, and you plan and let us know, and if it's something that can be done, I'm there. It's been a pleasure, for me to be your co-host, and also I'm happy that so many people have come today to this show. That shows the love that we have for each other, which is very important. And may we continue the same way, supporting each other and having this sense of community, which I know for sure will take us very far. So thank you, and
absolutely,
yeah.
Thank you so much. Guys, a good story is good until another one is told. And if I was to borrow from Hajways' story from the village, it really does take a village. It took a village to arrange this, and I'm glad that we happened at least to have sat with Hajways to have this part of the village story, his experience moving away from home, build a family, and work, and also trying to keep in touch with home. So if you're not connected to him, it's still pinned up there on top of the chat. The last assignment I'm going to ask him to do is going to end his show. Marlon, nice to see you. So he's going to end his show in the next few minutes, but before he ends his show, I have to let him say bye. and then I will end his live stream, and then in case you're watching from there, it will automatically throw you back here. And then we can wrap up the Sunday service so that we can at least go and keep supporting other people in the community, or go to sleep to those ones who it's very late in the night. I don't see everybody's just appreciating. Give him his flowers. If you enjoyed this conversation, I know 3.5 hours, just like that. We've just been talking since we started.
That's so fast. It's very quick.
So I will now so Hajways, I will leave you on solo layout. You wanted to make a quick call on the 2K call for people to support you there. Yeah. And then once you're done with that, it's like your buy and your sign off, and then we'll be able to release you. Take it away.
Okay, so guys, thank you so much for all the support that you've given me since last year up to now. It's been a beautiful journey, and I take it as it comes by the day. And we are just approaching the 2K subscribers, and it's been a bit of a challenge there. So anyone who is not subscribed to the channel, please, this is a call for you to be able to give me that helping hand, which I know will go a long way. Thank you so much, and peace and love. Bye-bye.
Bye. And that's it. Hajways is out. Okay, so I will